OHSAA playoff football right here on South 60 Films. The 7-3 Africentric Nubians come into Whirlwind Stadium to take on the 7-2 West Muskingum Tornadoes. Both teams hitting their strides at the right time. It's been 6 weeks since they both suffered a loss. A classic could be in the making here tonight. Good evening and welcome into the broadcast booth, or should I say the roof tonight. Ted Snyder, Dylan Kearns here. Ted, we've made it. It's playoff time now, okay? This is where the true teams test who they are right now. You see an Africentric team, D1 commits, D1 recruits up and down the roster, but it's still a very young team. A couple juniors on this roster, not many senior big players. What do you expect from Africentric tonight?
It's really hard to tell. All we know is what we've seen from them on paper, and fortunately for the Tornadoes, this game's not played on paper. It's going to be played out here on the field tonight, and all we know is West Muskingum will be at a size disadvantage at nearly every position, but you can't read too much into that because this team, they play in a completely different part of the state, different kind of teams. So I'm very, very curious to see how this game shakes out. We know the Tornadoes are 11 guys playing as one, to achieve a common goal. So we'll wait and see if the Nubians play the same type of football.
And the Nubians on their side, we mentioned they have a lot of talented players, but once again, there's not much depth on this team.
No.
So, they have a couple key players, key position players on this team that can make plays up and down their roster, but not much depth there. And we caught up with the coach of the Nubians, and he let us know that he was watching West Muskingum last year and what Cisse brought to the table.
Yeah, it's hard to miss what Rashid Cisse accomplished the past couple of years, and they have a player similar to Rashid Cisse on their team, Caleb Anthony. He's just a junior, but he's got a D1 offer from Miami of Ohio already, and he does it receiving, he does it rushing, and he does it returning kicks and the special teams as well.
So you see Jamel Davis just talking about everybody, on that roster. They know that they have to be sound, He mentions it there in the quote you see on your screen, and you got to take it play by play. This is exactly a team that he respects very well. He's dove into this roster. He's seen him the past couple of years, and that's definitely something to keep in mind. On the West Muskingum side, though, we mentioned both teams hitting their stride. West End finally gave up points for the first time since September 13th last week against Meadowbrook. But once again, here's the playoffs against a good Africentric team. What does West need to do tonight? Well,
they need to stick to what they do best. That's run the football. Establish the run between the tackles with, of course, Carter Winland, Wes Houston, and sprinkle in some other players as well here and there. But if they can establish a run, control the ball, control the line of scrimmage, they'll be just fine.
We caught up with Coach Brownrigg about this matchup here with West End. This is definitely something to keep in mind here tonight. This could be a big prove-it game, and that's something that he says you can't just make the playoffs. You got to go in the playoffs and win games. It's where this program is right now.
Even though when they changed it to 16 teams a couple years ago, it watered it down a little bit. It's still an awesome accomplishment, awesome honor. We talked to the kids a lot, especially a couple years ago when it was brand new to the program, about how exciting it is and kind of the pressure that comes with, hey, you got to perform now or the season's over. And so I think our kids in the community have really bought into that and enjoy it, and it really makes the work that you put in through the regular season worth it. Very, very explosive. We just went over our scouting report and talked to the kids about how in three films that I've broken down at this point, they have over 30 explosive plays, and they really rely on that. They have some players that are capable of that. One in particular that is super explosive, a junior who's already been first team All-Ohio twice, so very, very dynamic. But he's not the only one. They got 3 or 4 tight end, receiver bodies, quarterback also explosive. So from a defensive standpoint, it's going to be limiting those big plays, make them earn their way down the field, and really work to get points. And then offensively, it's going to be about controlling the tempo, possessing the ball, keeping it away from them, and then executing in key situations, getting points in the red zone, winning the field position battle. All that stuff's going to be important come Friday night.
Good stuff there from Coach Brownrigg. This is exactly what it is. I want to touch more a little bit on the defense. West End, we talk about not giving up a point for several weeks, like over a month, where they did not give up a single point. Africentric brings a strong passing attack. Quarterback, several D1 conversations at least, scholarship offers there that he could decide, especially in MAC schools. how does this West End defense continue that success that they saw? Because last week they gave up over 20 points to Meadowbrook, but this week, this is a big test against an Africentric team with a lot of talent.
I agree. I don't think you can expect to come in here and shut this team down. You just got to do the best you can and limit their big plays and force them to move the chains, because they really love the big plays over the top with their playmakers. So I think if West Muskingum can remain disciplined like they usually do and play together 11 as one, I think they'll be just fine. I think defensively for the Nubians, I'm very curious to see how they respond to the West Muskingum offense. Will they have to commit an extra defensive back to run support? And if so, can West Muskingum hit some plays over the top?
Well, we are counting you down to kickoff here just over 5 minutes before this postseason game gets underway. We'll step aside. You are watching OHSAA playoff football here on South 60 Films.
Every two-a-day practice, every Saturday morning film session, every game has led to this moment. Playoff football has arrived in Ohio. The West Muskingum Tornadoes are 7-2 and have made the playoffs for the third consecutive year. They know how special of a moment this is.
It's still an awesome, accomplishment, awesome honor. It really makes the work that you put in through the regular season worth it.
There were a lot of negative expectations going into the year, just how much we lost last year and that we wouldn't be able to do it again. And it feels good to, one, be in the playoffs, but two, to host again this year. We get to host another one for the second year in a row, so it's always fun.
Although for the Tornadoes, making the playoffs is not enough, they're not a team that will be happy to be one and done.
Past 2 years, we've had week 11 wins, so we're now not just a team where it's we're satisfied with the win. We're satisfied with getting further and further. We're a winning program now. We're known as a winning program. It's not just the old West End where we lose and it's okay. We have to win.
The standard has never been higher, and the play hasn't either. The Tornadoes finished the season going 5-0, with 4 of those 5 games being shutouts.
When we lost week 4, we knew that was kind of out of our hands. And so we kind of shifted gears, shifted goals to where the next 6 weeks wasn't going to be just about winning games. It was going to be about putting ourselves in the best position possible come this time. And not just from a seeding standpoint, but also from a development standpoint, like turn ourselves into the best version of West End football that we can be, with the goal to make a run. Not just be satisfied with making the playoffs, but get in here and make some noise and keep playing until somebody beats us.
The pressure has never been higher.
The pressure that comes with, hey, you got to perform now or the season's over.
It's win and go home time. The expectation of being in the playoffs has already been met, and that's not in our heads anymore. The real goal is one more week every week. Don't want the season to end on, like Coach Brunner keeps saying, we need to go out on our terms. We can't fall to a team that's not up to our standards. We need to be able to play teams that we can beat and go out on our own terms.
All right, we welcome you back. There it is, West Muskingum taking the field, getting ready. Both teams they're fired up for this contest, partner. I mean, West End coming out of the tunnel. You see, of course, Africentric taking the field as well. They're, not many players. We talk about the depth on that team.
Yeah.
The size of the roster, completely different between these two schools here tonight.
Sure is. They have some fantastic players, but they don't have a lot of depth, so that could be key in this game. We'll have to see as it moves along, but both these teams on similar tracks. West Muskingum started the year 2-2, Africentric 1-3. After the Week 5 cancellation, the Tornadoes finished the season 5 consecutive victories. The Nubians, after their Week 4 loss, all they did was finish the season with 6 consecutive losses. So both these teams on winning streaks. They don't want to see those come to an end. West Muskingum, the home team, the Africentric Nubians traveled the 60 miles eastward here to Zanesville. See if that plays a factor in tonight's game as well. But the size disparity is one thing you can see. It's with your own eyes. It's hard to miss. This is a very, very big team at every position. Their quarterback is 6'4", 190 pounds, just a junior. Prefers to throw it, but he is a dual threat quarterback.
Great quarterback matchup here. Jake Anton obviously on the other side for West M. He's made great throws all year, especially you get him on the run. I don't think there's a better quarterback we'll see all year.
I think the two players the West Muskingum defense must key on are juniors Caleb Anthony and Duran Gray. Caleb Anthony, 715 rushing yards, 789 receiving yards, and if you include his kick return and punt return yardage, over 2,000 all-purpose on the year.
So they're going to pooch kick, and this might be, and it goes right out of bounds. I thought it might have been West Muskingum. They might have done some trickeration there. We've seen Silas Kuhn do that several times this year. Instead, it's great field position for Africentric to start the ball game.
Sure is. It looked like one of the Tornadoes had a chance to make the play and just couldn't reach the football before it went out of bounds. That would have been a game changer to start this one here, Dylan, if they were able to recover that onside kick. Very aggressive to start this game by Nate Brownrigg. He's coming here to win. You mentioned Week 1 of the playoffs. The regular season is behind us. Everyone's 0-0 right now. You can throw the records out the window.
Well, you just touched on the return yardage from Caleb Anthony. Obviously a big threat on this Africentric Nubians team, so maybe they're trying to avoid that in the return game, avoid something that could spark an offense and try to get the ball to start the game as well. But here's our first look at this Africentric team. Shotgun formation. They got 3 wide receivers with a running back to the right. Quarterback Joshua Smith, and there's an early flag. Leave it as false start, so the home crowd.
And like I said in the open, all we know about this team is what we've read and researched about them. We haven't seen them live, so just curious how disciplined this team is, and will they commit a lot of penalties? Will they do things to hurt themselves and help the Tornadoes? Because we know the Tornadoes as fundamentally sound as they come.
We're only 1 second into this game, and it was A strange play that was the onside kick sort of attempt, little pooch kick that went out of bounds, and then of course the false start. So 1 second, a couple plays moving back this Africentric team. Right now Smith stays in the shotgun formation. Running back off to his right. Smith motions a receiver. And he's rolling out right. He might just take off and run, and he does. Smith will slide down, a little bit of a slide on the back end as he gets to about the 40, maybe 41.
Yeah, went down voluntarily. Looked like he had more yardage to gain if he wanted. Fell to the ground. Now it's a gain of about 6 yards. He's 2nd and 9 for the Nubians. Love to see the Tornadoes get a 3 and out right here. They won the toss, elected to defer. You'd love to see this Tornado defense get off the field and turn the ball over to their offense.
So another strange formation here, a wide receiver, that is Caleb Anthony at the very top of your screen. And this will be a give to the tailback, running to the right side to about the 45 before he's hit with a bunch of Tornadoes. That was Laurel Hairston on the carry, a freshman. So the first carry of the game goes to a freshman tailback.
It's going to bring up a big 3rd down here on the first series. Curious to see how aggressive this Nubians team is once they get in 4th down situations, and where they're willing to go for those 4th downs and what part of the field.
Looking at the program, I do not see a kicker listed, so don't know if that's by disguise or what, but either way, a 3rd down and 3 here, just over 10 to play, quarter number 1. This is a quick out, and the pass is too high over the head of Darian Gray. And that's an incomplete pass, and I believe it might be a punt situation here.
Very curious to see the decision here. You mentioned Deron Gray, the intended target. 6'4", 210 pounds, potentially the most talented athlete on this team, as he does it on defensive end and at tight end.
He's got several D1 offers. He's got Kentucky, Marshall, Appalachian State, and Miami of Ohio. Big 4th down here and 3 to go. Give to the tailback. He fights forward. He's got the first down. It was right in front of our eyes. It was a clear first down as he fought across the first down marker. That's a big carry.
You can see right there, the Nubians getting a better push than most offensive lines do against the Tornadoes. West Muskingum only surrenders 3.3 yards per carry to opposing ball carriers. So the Nubians finding some space here early to operate in the run game.
So the ball officially on the midfield stripe. First down of the game. Came on a 4th down conversion. 2 tailbacks to the left. Smith motions a receiver. He takes a snap, throws it out left. Great pursuit. And in there to blow up the play in the backfield, that's Cooper McKenzie.
There's the Tornado defense making a big play. Seen them do it all year long. Great penetration. You're going to see it here. Cooper McKenzie splits the double team and makes the sack in the backfield. Huge play.
Great replay there on the Ohio Educational Credit Union replay. So now, for the second time, now 2nd and long to go. Once again, the receiver Anthony to the far bottom of your screen. This is a give to the tailback again, dives forward. Great fight from this freshman running back, Laurel Hairston.
We've got a flag here, and the Nubians are saying it's helmet-to-helmet contact. We'll have to wait for the initial indication here. That player was airborne and was kind of rotating like a helicopter, so they're gonna get the Tornadoes for helmet-to-helmet contact.
They're calling targeting here.
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
And that's on McKenzie. You saw him blow up the play on 1st down.
Now let's get another look at it here on the Ohio Educational Credit Union replay. That the player goes airborne. You're going to see he gets hit right there. And his helmet were in 2 different places when McKenzie started his path to the carrier.
So Coach Brownrigg talking to the officials, but that's a big penalty because now it sets up a 1st down. Ball on the 35 now as the Nubians work their way into enemy territory. Smith with the snap. And more penetration from West Muskingum. Running outside is the tailback Anthony. So we mentioned he's got the running ability and the passing or the receiving ability. And there he is, just a couple yards there on that first down tote.
Looked like Carter Smith, the Tornado, able to chase him down and make the tackle from behind.
So now it brings up a second down and say 8 to go for the first down. They send the receiver Anthony to the far right. And Smith takes the snap, rolls right, fires right, pass too high, going in the direction of Darian Gray. Pass incomplete.
The Nubians have already shown that they're going to go for it on fourth down from essentially anywhere on the field. And they were on their own side of the 50 when they went for 4th and 4 on this drive earlier. So you got to assume this is also 4-down territory.
So 3rd down and 8. You know, partner, they might run the ball twice here. Try to catch them off guard with 8 yards to go. Try to get a big gain and then go right up the gut again. We've seen the tailback Hairston run the ball pretty well. Smith takes the snap, eyes downfield, throws right, incomplete. He's going for Jalen Turner.
I'll tell you, Turner had every opportunity to catch that ball, but he saw a pair of Tornado defenders closing in quickly. Made a business decision there. It's going to bring up 4th down and 8. See if the Tornadoes can get off the field and bring this crowd to their feet.
We have not seen a kicker warm up at all on the sidelines kicking into the net. So we mentioned no kicker listed on the program. Obviously a far distance from here, but still 4th down and 8, a big spot here for the home Tornadoes. Smith with tons of time fires across the middle, big catch for a first down. And there's the man with several D1 offers. The pass complete to Darian Gray, his first catch of the night.
You can see it right here. Deron Gray makes a contested catch in the middle of 3 Tornado defenders. See Wes Houston there helping bring down the Deron Gray as well as Carter Smith. Big conversion though for the Nubians.
So a long first drive of the game here for Africentric as the West Ham offense yet to see the field. We're just over 7:40 to play. And there is a flag down. I believe it's going to be a false start on Africentric, so it's going to move them back. We've had several times tonight, moving the ball back, penalties that are big, but they've also converted on 2 4th downs, which has extended this long drive. So now it'll bring up a 1st down and 15, nearing the red zone. They were just in it, but now we'll have to work to get back into it. Hairston, the tailback, to the right of Smith in the backfield. A bobbled snap, has to fall on it, and I believe Smith was able to get it back.
Yep. And these pre-snap penalties, the mishandled snaps, these are the type of things that I was curious to see how clean this team could play a football game, because we know they have the size and athleticism, but a lot of times, a team who goes out and plays for the guy beside them to the right and to the left is oftentimes able to come out on top of a team with better athleticism who just tries to do it all individually.
So the first time Africentric gets in the red zone, they have 2 straight negative plays, one on the false start, one on the botched snap. So now 2nd down and 20. A long drive, I mentioned, 6:30 to play here in quarter number 1. Smith eyes downfield. I think he's going to run. Outruns Wes Houston as he fights about the, 16-yard line before he's out of bounds.
And this is going to be right at the marker.
I think they're going to call it the 18.
So that was about a gain of 10 yards. Bring up 3rd down and 10.
Once again, no sign of a kicker over there, so I think they're going to play with their offense all game.
Yeah, I'd imagine this team probably goes for most 4th downs and probably goes for 2 after touchdowns. I'm sure they have a punter of some sort that can get a punt off, but yeah, they may not carry a place kicker on their roster. But they've yet to get the ball in the hands of their dynamic playmaker, Caleb Anthony, number 2. He's lined up in the slot right now.
So timeout called now by the Nubians. So they got 2 left. You know, partner, this is what makes you think here in this game. You got this long drive for Africentric. If they find the red zone here and leave West End with just a little bit of time here in the first quarter, that could be a big score in terms of time of possession and momentum in this game.
I agree. If the West Muskingum can find a way to get off the field here without letting them get in the end zone, that would be a huge victory for the Tornado defense, and get a chance to see the West Muskingum offense and see what they have to offer tonight. I'm very curious. They're very dominant running the ball in league play, but it's a whole nother beast going up against this defensive front. And you know, Coach Jim L. Davis of the Nubians will switch up his defensive fronts. He's been quoted as saying, you know, we're not committed to one defense or another. We will do what puts us in the best position to win the game. So very curious to see that matchup as well.
So a big 3rd down and 10. You can see why you call timeout there, kind of draw up a play and see what you can do here in the red zone.
But you know, they're two best playmakers on the year. Anthony yet to touch the ball, and Deron Gray 1 target, but he did not bring that catch in. So West Muskingum doing a good job limiting their playmakers from touching the football.
Pistol formation. It's a give to Hairston. Initial contact in the backfield, bounces off of it, but there's a swarm of Tornadoes.
Yeah, look at that wall of blue hats.
Finding a way to get in there and make the stop.
Carter Smith, Jake Anton, 2 of the players in there on the tackle. We're going to get another look here. Good penetration right there. Bounces it out, but there's always another blue hat waiting for you. 4th and 11 here, Dylan. They're going to have to probably put this one up in the air.
They've converted 2 4th downs already in this one. You got 2 wide receivers to the right, 1 to the left. Smith takes a snap, play action pass, looks to the right, fires right, pass caught for the touchdown. That is Caleb Anthony. We mentioned no touches yet. Yep. He gets his first of the game, and it goes for 6.
Just 5'8", 175 pounds, but he is fast, runs great routes. He has great hands, as he showed right there. We're going to get another look. This was a great pass. Right in the middle of 2 West Muskingum defenders.
So they will line up and go for 2. We mentioned no kicker on the program, so you know, this is an opportunity. If you could stop them a couple times here on the 2-point conversion, it could roll a swing in terms of what they can bring. This one fired out, and it's tipped in the air, and that's going to be incomplete. So 6-0 score. West Muskingum obviously has a kicker with Silas Kuhn. He could kick several field goals from distance, so definitely something to think of now. Even if you get in the red zone, could be a 3-point game with a field goal, and West End again gets the ball at half.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. 1 point could be a difference in a playoff game. We've seen it happen many, many times. And special teams makes a big difference in high school football. If you can execute extra points and field goals, you have a leg up on your competition.
So we want to remind you, tonight's game brought to you by a couple of our sponsors. The Community Bank. Now's the perfect time to join the Go Local movement by banking locally with the Community Bank. Fink's Harley-Davidson, live to ride, ride to live. Fink's Quality Cars and RVs, quick as a wink, deal with Fink, as well as Fink's Easy Leasing and Rental. And again, a new sponsor tonight, our scoreboard, brought to you by Custom Vehicles of Zanesville, your local source for all your automotive accessory needs. Check them out at customvehiclezane.com. So 5:34 to play in quarter number 1. This will be the first time West End gets the ball on offense. A long drive taking up over 6 minutes of time.
Braxton Brownrigg, the lone deep man, just ahead of him, Carter Smith and Connor Hill.
So this is Talil Spikes kicking this one away for Africentric. And he will kick it deep. It goes into the hands of Brownrigg. He feels it, and he's got a little bit of a crease past the 30. Defenders closing in on him, a hand on him, but he's past the 40, and the refs say he stepped out of bounds at the 49. So you'll see him go into the end zone, but it is clear he stepped out at the 49-yard line.
Woo, that was close. That was very close. We're going to get another look. I don't know if we're going to be able to get a view of the sideline here He was very close to keeping it in. Brownrigg follows his blocking exceptionally well. Carter Smith lays the block right there. It springs him. And right there, it looked like the left foot just touched the white. Nevertheless, huge return all the way into Nubian territory at the 49-yard line. And let's see what the Tornadoes have to offer. I know number 10, Carter Winlands, had a huge season. And you can't discount the rest of their playmakers, because as soon as you key in on number 10, they will hit you with any number of players on the outside.
So now a loaded backfield for West Ham. There is Carter Winland, as you mentioned. A big crease, pushes forward, and gets a push from the line, and he's past the sticks. A big first down carry for Carter Winland. Moves the chains for the Tornadoes.
That's a great sign for West Muskingum. They blocked it up well, and Winland is running extremely hard, as he always does, dragging some Nubians. Got an injured Nubian down on the field, in fact, right now.
And I believe it is the uber-talented Darron Gray.
That would be significant, but he looks to be able to get up. He's trying to get up. I think he'll be all right, yeah. Up under his own power. And walk off the field.
So we mentioned not a lot of depth here on the Africentric sideline. You know, they bring a small roster, but a talented one here to West. So any sort of injury could definitely have an impact, especially to a star player on both sides of the ball like Gray.
Totally agree with that. Look at the way Carter Winland hit that hole, man. That's a great sign.
That's someone that saw a lot of time tick off the clock and says, you know what, give me the ball. I want to make an impact. So they go out with a similar formation. No wide receivers for 2 straight plays. There's Winland again. Lowers the shoulder. Pushes to about the 30-yard line. So another positive game from this ground game.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, we've seen this team a half dozen times, and I've never seen them do this offensively. So obviously Coach Nate Brownrigg saw something on the Nubian defense that he wants to exploit. He obviously thinks even though we have a size disadvantage, we can block them up and we can run right down the teeth of this defense, and they have done so in the first 2 plays.
Scores across the MVL. Tri-Valley off to a 7-0 lead over Carrollton in their round 1 matchup. Right here, 2nd down and 5 for West Muskingum. Now they come out with 3 wide receivers, Houston to the right as well as Winland in the backfield. Anton right back to Winland. Winland with space, pushes forward, got another first down. So 3 straight carries to number 10, Winland.
That was my biggest concern, is would the West Muskingum offensive line be able to block up this defense, this huge defensive line of Africentric, and they've done an outstanding job on the first 3 snaps, creating running lanes for Winland, and he's running hard as always.
So just over 4 minutes to play. Quarter number 1 here at Whirlwind Stadium. Do you go back to Winland?
Be hard not to.
So they motion Brownrigg, and Anton takes a snap. Eyes downfield, fires left to a wide open Winland. Passes, caught for a touchdown. A wheel route connects with Winland, and there he is making his mark in the receiving game.
Here we go, Tornadoes. Came to play tonight. Carter Winland on the wheel route. Anton rolls out to his right. Winland sneaks out on the wheel route out to the left side of the field. He's all alone. And that was Caleb Anthony trying to recover, and he could not do so.
So a big touchdown here for West Muskingum. I like the play call. He originally looked left, and then he rolled out rolled right, and then he went left and connected.
I love the way Coach Brownrigg called that first series, and I love the way the Tornadoes executed up front. This Tornado offensive line, they very underrated, underappreciated group. Often undersized against every opponent, but man, can they create some lanes.
So an offsides here on the PAT attempt, and Silas Kuhn comes off the field. West Ham says, we want 2. They punch it in. They'll take a 2-point lead here.
Well, the penalty moves it from the 3 to the 1.5. So they're going to say, we think we can get 1.5 yards.
This could be a run to Houston or the tailback Winland. He gets the carry and is stuffed in the backfield. So we have ourselves a tie game. You get the extra yard going for 2 here, and weren't able to capitalize on the penalty. So tied at 6, just over 3 to play.
But that was an outstanding answer by the Tornadoes. Make sure they still believe in themselves, because you get down early in a playoff game, you can often start to question yourself, but the Tornadoes did not do that at all, as they are ready to play this game tonight.
So Africentric will get the ball back here. You know, it was a strange offensive drive for them on the first one of the game. Some negative plays, but they capitalized when they needed to on fourth down.
2 fourth down conversions on their first drive, a 4th and 4 near midfield, and a 4th and 8. They eventually scored the touchdown on that down.
Great atmosphere here at Whirlwind Stadium. The Africentric band off to our left. We got the Tornado band as well. You'll get to see both of them in action for our CA Music House Play Music for Life, the CA Music House halftime show. Silas Kuhn ready to kick this one away, 3:44, and another pooch kick goes right and takes a bounce, and falling on it is Africentric. That's 2 times.
And you know, Africentric, they kind of look at each other and nobody wants to field the football. I would keep executing that until you recover one.
Seems like, at least on the last 2 attempts, that it might be happening sooner rather than later.
Nubians are very fortunate West Muskingum wasn't able to recover that football. It took a kind of an awkward bounce back towards the Tornadoes.
So first down and 10 now, ball on the 39. You know, if I'm Coach Brownrigg, I'm going to keep trying it. You know, you give him good field position here, but you also avoid a big return from Anthony, who has yet to touch this ball. And this is a give to Hairston. He's hit in the backfield, and I think he's back to the line of scrimmage. If not, he'll lose 1. So he's back to the line. It'll bring up a 2nd down and 10.
No gain, 2nd down and 10.
So just over 3 minutes to play, quarter number 1. This will be a give, the run attempt here from the tailback Anthony.
More than 700 rushing yards on the season, but that's his first carry in this game. He's the one who caught the touchdown pass. 5'8", 175 pounds. The way he moves and plays reminds me a lot of Rashid Cisse. They're just unable to get the ball in his hands in space here in the first quarter.
I think that's a credit to the Tornadoes defense, neutralizing an offensive weapon. So Smith takes the snap, and he will roll left. Very athletic quarterback. He's going to pick up the first down himself, and then some. Pass to the 45-yard line. Now this Joshua Smith is very talented. He's put some balls right on the money and showcases his rushing ability. The 6'4" quarterback with several MAC offers. So 2:21 to play. And this is Hairston. He runs left, getting dragged down, but he still finds a way to get a couple yards on the first down carry.
Yeah, they're not getting big chunks though, Dylan. And that's what one of my main concerns was, big plays from this offense. And the Tornado defense has done an admirable job here in the first quarter of limiting their carries to minimal gains.
2nd down and 8.
So Smith has missed a couple games this season due to injury, but he's found his way to get healthy here for this one. Fires incomplete. He was going in the direction of Gray. He's back on the field. It's his first snap since exiting with an injury.
And that pass there well off target. That's the second or third pass he's made that wasn't even close to his intended receiver. We'll have to keep that in mind, because this West Muskingum secondary, they're a ball hawking group. They love to intercept the ball.
So another 3rd and long situation, 3rd down and 8 here. Smith with the snap, he gives to Hairston. Hairston juggles the ball, almost ripped out of his hands. Was lucky to get it back. There have been a couple times here tonight where the ball has been either on the ground or up in the air, and both bounces going straight to Africentric. But Hairston, I believe, will be right back to the original line.
Brought down by Cooper McKenzie and a host of Tornadoes.
Ball security, it's paramount, especially when you get into the playoffs. Tornadoes take outstanding care of the football offensively. I'm sure their defense would love to create a couple takeaways and tilt the balance of the scales here in their favor.
So we are under a minute here in quarter number 1. Big 4th down, 7 to go. They've converted both in the first drive.
They're going to get a timeout here.
It was a timeout to Africentric.
They're fortunate they were given that timeout because that was going to be a pre-snap motion penalty if they hadn't awarded them that timeout. A lot of motion in the backfield pre-snap. And they're already here in a 4th and 7, so make that a 4th and 12 or even longer. It could change your mind about what you potentially want to do. But this Nubians team, they don't fear 4th down. They seem to embrace it.
Yeah. So a couple 4th down conversions on their first drive. Yet to get a stop on the defensive side of the ball here for West Em on 4th down. I think that was something that was talked to on the sideline by Coach Brownrigg.
Yeah, most definitely. I'm sure he's got something. They're having a long discussion with the defense here during this timeout. Intense discussion down there. See if the Tornadoes can come up with a big play here on 4th and 7. Get off the field.
So 4th down and 7. Here is the Nubian offense. Smith with the snap, looks left. He's going to take off himself, being chased down, fights off a couple blockers, and he's going to be well short of the sticks. So a little bit of a delayed run there from the quarterback Smith, and he does not get the first down. It's a turnover on downs.
Could not get out of the grasp of big West Houston. Made the tackle with authority. Tornadoes are going to take over possession at outstanding field position, Dylan. Going to be all the way up at the 43-yard line.
So that was the first time they got a stop short of the sticks for the running back or the quarterback here, Smith. He's been able to run for a couple big plays offensively for the Nubians, but here's a big stop from West Em, and it's like you said, taking over here at the 40. All plays have gone to Winland so far, even on the 2-point conversion. And they will go right back to him. Crease to the left, exploding past the 50 and into enemy territory. A big run from Winland.
Tell you what, he's running hard tonight. We've seen Winland all year long. He's hitting that hole. Very quick, put his back foot in the ground right there. Cut up field. Number 10's on a mission here tonight. Most likely playing their last game at home. These group of seniors for West Muskingum.
So 20 seconds here in quarter number 1. And another give to Winland. He's going to have a busy night tonight. He's trying to fight more, and he is tackled by the legs there at the 43-44 yard line. So that's going to do it for quarter number 1. We're deadlocked here at 6. So 6-6 our score right here from Whirlwind Stadium. A couple big offensive drives so far for both teams. West Em here with a 2nd down to go as we begin the 2nd quarter. But we'll step aside. You're watching OHSAA playoff football here on South 60 Films. And we welcome you back, quarter number 2. Tied up at 6. And this West Ham offense, a lot of positive games so far. Second down and 5.
You got a stack formation all the way down the bottom of your screen.
They play fake over to Winland, and Anton's getting pressured, fired left, wide open receiver, and that is Tavin Bennett for a first down to about the 29-yard line.
Exceptionally talented group of receivers. Tavin Bennett's just one of many. Makes the play here right on the sideline. Going to get another look there.
Ball is marked at the 30-yard line. That's a Tornado first down.
We've seen so many different Tornadoes make plays this year. It's really hard to key in on just one.
So first down now on the 29. There is Winland. He's got an extra burst here tonight.
Yes,
he is just a couple yards shy of the first down marker. Big gain on first down.
And that Tornado offensive line putting in work there tonight. Winning the battle in the trenches here in the first half so far.
Ball is marked at the 22-yard line. Second down and 2.
So I think they're going to go right back to him. You know, he's seen it on almost every play so far in this one. The conversion you just saw to Bennett, but see what they bring here. It's going to be a pitch to Winland. He's hit the backfield for one of the first times tonight, shrugging off tacklers. And it looks like a West Muskingum Tornado in there to kind of help with the tackle. It was unfortunate there. Carter Smith was in there to try to set a block.
First negative play of the game for West Muskingum. It's going to be a loss of 5 officially. Turns a 2nd and 2 to a 3rd and 7. To see what Coach Brownrigg elects to do here. We know Jake Anton is one of the most accurate passers in our area.
So they come out with a loaded backfield and then they spread them out. 3rd down and 6. Anton, high snap, grabs it. Looks forward, steps up. He's got a lane. Passes a defender, and he's got a little bit of an alleyway to about the 6 before he's tackled down. And this time it's the West Ham quarterback getting yards on a carry, and he's inside the 10.
Yep. Great decision by Anton. You see, he hangs in the pocket as long as he could, then he sneaks out, able to shake one tackler right there, and gets all the way down to the 5-yard line. Anton's decision-making as a senior has been nothing less than stellar.
It's under 10 minutes, quarter number 2 if you're just joining us. The score might be little, but there's been a lot of offense. This is juggled by Winland in the backfield, and what looked like it was going to be a broken play. He's able to get a yard, but there is a flag down.
Yeah, I'm curious to see what this flag is. Initial indication is holding on the Tornadoes, and that's what it is. We're a long ways away from the play. It looked like Winland's face mask may have got grabbed.
So that'll move him back. Still a goal-to-go situation, but
we don't know longer. We don't know where the hold occurred at. If it occurred near where the end of the run happened, it won't set the Tornadoes back too much.
And they're going to mark it at the 13-yard line, or the 12, so not too far outside of it. Come out with a stack receivers on both sides.
This is 1st and goal from the 17-yard line.
Not your ideal goal-to-go situation.
Not at all, but you know, you've mentioned that West Muskingum has a place kicker who can make field goals in Silas Kuhn, so if they don't get all the way down into the end zone and they're faced with a 4th and long, like a 4th and 10 or 4th and 8, 1 goal to go, they could very easily elect to put 3 on the board and take a lead.
It could be a difference maker down the stretch here in this game. We mentioned Africentric. No place kicker yet we've seen. Here is Winland on 1st and goal from the 17. He's tackled for a loss.
So now we're seeing the Africentric defense keying in on Winland. They're selling out to stop number 10. And before long, you're going to see a hard play action from Anton, and somebody's going to be wide open on the back end.
Could be Hill, could be Bennett, could be Smith. we've seen a lot of Brownrigg and Bennett so far in this one.
Anton executes and carries out those play fakes as good as anyone.
So he fires right and connects immediately with a short screen pass to Winland. There's that extra burst as he's tackled at the 6-yard line.
I'll tell you what, one of the most impressive things about Winland is his ability to stop and start essentially and get back to full speed immediately. And get another look, a little screen pass here. And he heads upfield and he changes direction so smooth, so seamlessly without losing speed. Just a true gifted player right there.
So a couple injuries on that. We saw Tavin Bennett get rolled up. He just limped to the sideline, and now there's an Africentric player down. That is Chase Johnson.
Hey, you mentioned their lack of depth. They have fewer players on their sidelines than are on the field.
Yeah, so
they have 11 guys on the field and 9 guys on the sidelines.
We welcome you back here to the broadcast roof, I should say. It's been a good one so far. A lot of great plays. We've seen both teams with long offensive drives. This one a long one for the Tornadoes. They took off originally in the first quarter, and now they got the ball with just under 9 minutes here in the second quarter. But this is a big drive here. 3rd and goal. Situation to punch it in the end zone, and if not, could we see Silas Kuhn?
I believe so, depending on the result of this play. They're at 3rd and goal from the 7-yard line, so we'll have to see what Coach Brownrigg has in mind. Number 10's been busy here in the first half. Just as we expected. Yeah.
Bennett remains on the sideline. He just went to the cart and slammed it, so we'll keep you updated if we see him any longer as they motion Winland to the right, and they bring Wes Houston to the backfield. Anton with the snap. It's going to be a direct give, and he is hit hard. So they brought in Wes Houston to block for him, and Anton gets just a few yards there. So it'll bring up a 4th and goal and a decision.
I got to believe Coach Brownrigg's going to go with points here, at least attempt to get 3 on the board.
Now there is a penalty, which could change things here. Kuhn originally ran onto the field. He's now running back.
We'll see who the penalty's on. It's a substitution infraction against West Muskingum, so if the Nubians decline this, Tornadoes will get another crack at 3rd and goal. If they decline it, it will be 4th and goal from the 7.
So I believe we are seeing the offense. It's funny, you see no Anton and no Kuhn out there, so what is the decision? So we're waiting to see if they declined or accepted the penalty. On the field it says 4, on the video board it says 3.
Illegal substitution. Yes, the Nubians are going to accept that penalty and elect to move the Tornadoes back. So should be 3rd and goal from around the 17. They're going to mark it at the 21, which is.
So I guess it's a 15-yard penalty here.
Wow.
So the ball was originally on the 6.
A substitute. 15 yards are usually reserved for personal fouls.
So 3 wide receivers to the left of Anton. He's got the tailback Winland in the backfield. He looks right, fires right, well over the head of his intended receiver. That was Carter Smith. No flags on the play, a little bit of contact there. And now do you try Kuhn from long distance?
It's a tough call. If we were back in September, I think it'd be a no-brainer, but the colder weather, the ball's much harder to kick. But what do you call on 4th and 21 or 4th and goal from the 21? It's really a tough situation for Coach Brownrigg to be in.
Yeah, the ball on the 21. This is they just called timeout, so trying to reset here and get something going. This could be a big point in the game as well. You have the penalty. that obviously sets you back, and a substitution penalty, so it's not one you see every day. But I'm surprised by the 15 yards on that.
I am as well. You know, I thought it was a 10-yard penalty.
New Lexington up 20-7 in their game.
Yep. Canton South, a very young team, and they had a long journey from Canton to New Lexington this evening, so not an easy trip to make and get off the bus and be ready to play a football game. I'm not surprised the Panthers are up early in that one.
You'll see all your scores on the bottom of our ticker now. Tri-Valley 14-6 over Carrollton. Fairland over Zane Trace 7-0. The winner of that game plays this one. The winner here. So 6-6 our score. 4th and goal from beyond the 20. Anton steps up. Pressure in his face. He's hit in the back. And the ball is out, and it'll be taken over by the Africentric.
Yeah, you're going to get another look here. Anton steps up in the pocket, keeps his eyes downfield, and neglects to feel the presence of the pass rush coming from behind. Fortunately for the Tornadoes, there was no advance on the fumble return, so Nubians will just take over possession at the 26-yard line. West Muskingum defense goes back to work.
So that was Jadon Turner getting in the backfield. Well, I guess if there was a time to fumble a ball, I guess on 4th down, pretty close to either where the ball would have been if you didn't convert, that was probably the time to do it. So just over 8 minutes, quarter number 2, West End gets the ball at halftime. Reminder at halftime, both bands performing the CA Music House halftime show, Play Music for Life. This will be a give to Anthony. Anthony backing his way forward, a couple back steps as he gets to the 30-yard line. 4 yards on the first down tote.
I'll tell you, rushing yards are hard to come by for the Nubians here tonight. Now we have the Nubians quarterback down on the field. That's one player they could definitely not afford to lose. He's down on the turf right now.
That's Josh Smith. We've seen him make plays both with his legs and his arm. Coaching staff out to check out his leg.
And they've lost just 3 games this year. I mentioned in the pregame, weeks 2, 3, and 4. They lost to a Minster team who's a Division 7, but they're a state powerhouse. And their other 2 losses in week 3 and 4 were to a pair of Division 2 teams, in Columbus DeSales and Walnut Ridge, who are both playing in the Division 2 postseason right now. So this Nubians team has played and defeated some good teams.
So we mentioned Smith. He's dealt with injuries this year. He's played in 10 games in total, only played 1 quarter versus DeSales from injury and 1 quarter against Walnut Ridge. Yep. So he missed the majority of 2 games there, and he comes to the sideline here. He'll at least have to sit out this play, and it's a big play to sit out. 2nd down and 6.
2nd down and 6.
He has his helmet back on. We'll see if he takes the field after this. So it is Caleb Anthony, the uber-talented player on all 3 sides of the ball. He takes the snap and fires out right, a bullet pass right off the chest of Hairston.
Anthony's pass is coming from Hairston, falls incomplete.
And here comes Smith back onto the field.
It's 3rd down and 6.
I wonder if he took over quarterback duties when Smith was out for those quarters early in the season, because he does have a handful of passing yards on the year. A few different players have passing yards to their credit besides Smith, so it may have went quarterback by committee during those times.
So 3rd down and 6, Smith back in the game at quarterback. There is Carter Smith from the outside chasing him down, fires, and it's intercepted. Caleb McKenzie again making his mark on defense as it's picked off in enemy territory for West End now.
Gonna get another look right here. I don't think Smith ever saw him. You can see he threw it right to him, and McKenzie right there. Johnny on the spot to make that interception. You mentioned it, Dylan. He made a big play early in the 1st quarter. Comes up with that big interception. Great time to come up with a big game.
So Cooper McKenzie making an impact here, the sophomore. He blew up a play early in the game, a great read defensively. He had the targeting penalty as well, but there he is with an interception. So a turnover from West and now a turnover from Africentric, and now they get him to jump off sides.
Jake Anton has a great hard count. Nearly got him to jump a couple of times in the first quarter. Finally gets him to jump across and commit the penalty there, and that's going to be a 1st and 5. Playbook now completely wide open. You know, a big change in possession, then a penalty. Maybe a good time to try something over the top. And they just got him again. It's
So
be
we
another
are
5
seeing
yards.
another one. That's going to move the ball for another first down here.
The one thing we could not see by reading statistics and results was the discipline of this Nubians team, and they have committed their fair share of penalties here already in this first half that have been costly.
So 7:45 here in the second quarter. West End gets the ball at halftime, so if they milk some time off here, get a defensive stop, they could control the game. How big was it as well? The quarterback of the Nubians, Smith, leaving the game for that one play on second down. Here's Winland, and they've done a good job making an adjustment. They bottled him up each of the last 2 drives. He's tackled for about 1 yard there.
Yeah, I think they're a little sick and tired of watching number 10 run right through the teeth of their defense, but you know, just when you get a little over aggressive on that run play is when one of the outside guys, you know, they got a plethora of guys out there. Connor Hill, Braxton Brownrigg, Carter Smith, Taven Bennett, Coleman Lloyd's made plays this year, so there's guys that can make catches and plays downfield for this Tornadoes team. And West Houston yet to touch the ball offensively. We've seen him make an impact offensively in several games this year.
Second down and 9. They play fake to Winland and throw it out to Houston on cue. Great call there, Ted, as he shrugs off a defender, uses his strength to get inside the 10. They're in another goal-to-go situation.
Love West Houston. He doesn't get a lot of touches, but he's out there doing work every single play. Send him out on a route right there. That's a 6'2", 240-pound senior making that catch and dragging 3 Nubians all the way down inside the 10.
So over 6:30 to play in the second quarter. You got Winland in the pistol behind Anton. He gets the carry. He's got a crease. Closing in on him is Anthony. There's a flag thrown before he's tackled. I think it might be holding on the Tornadoes.
Now you are right, my friend. Just a very inopportune time to commit that hold, as Winland was knocking on the goal line door, but that's going to move them back. Going to bring up a 1st and goal. I'm going to replay. That's going to bring 2nd and goal from about the 8-yard line.
So it remains 1st and goal here. They will change it on the marker.
I wonder where the hold occurred.
I think they're going to mark it at the 18-yard line. So a big loss there. The second consecutive drive that they've had a penalty inside goal to go. A high snap juggled, taken by Winland. He's flipped in the air and tackled at the 16. That was lucky. Went right off the hands of Winland, or rather Anton, and right in the hands.
Very fortunate. Very, very fortunate. But Carter Winland was right there to snag it out of the air and make the best out of it. Still a 2nd down and goal, so Tornadoes going to have at least 2 more cracks before they have to decide what to do on 4th down.
Taven Bennett, we saw make a big catch in this one, still on the sideline, helmet off, but he has his ankle taped as he's trying to run this one out.
You got Connor Hill and Braxton Brownrigg isolated on the top side on the wide side of the field, both man-to-man.
And he looks that way in the air to deflect it.
Yep.
Great play from the quarterback. That's Joshua Smith, both sides of the ball. 6'4", you get your arms up. That's he could definitely make a play on defense.
Yeah, he must have saw what we saw from up here. You know, 2 man-to-man matchups on the wide side of the field. You definitely got to try to exploit that. As the safety, the lone safety, Caleb Anthony, is kind of leaning towards the boundary where Carter Smith is lined up.
So now a whistle and a timeout called to Africentric. That's their last one of the half. So if you think they get the ball back with a little bit of time, it could be something to think about what they do when they go ahead and look forward to their strategy as they round out the half.
And just 6-6 here. Points kind of a premium here in the first half. Both these teams, when you look at their results, routinely scored in the 30s and 40s all year long. So these defenses have came ready to play here tonight. You mentioned West Muskingum, what, they have 4 or 5 consecutive shutouts before last week. So their defense hitting their stride and peaking at the right time here as week 11 is upon us.
You know, it makes me think, going back to this, Africentric's defense, they've had a little bit of bending and they broke a little bit in their first drive of the game that they had defensively, and then they've kind of been bailed out by a little bit of penalties here from West End. They've been making stops in Winland in the backfield, but still they've been a benefit of some penalties on the West Muskingum side that I'm sure Brownrigg will talk about in the halftime speech.
It was a hold on this drive. It was a substitution infraction on the previous drive that really set them back.
So they motion Coleman Lloyd and fire right for Smith. That pass incomplete. I don't know if Anton has a lot of completions in this one. He's checked down with Winland a couple times. He hit Bannett once, but he's missed a couple receivers.
He tried to hit Smith there on a quick slant. Ball just a little too hot to handle. But Carter Smith's the kind of player that he could be relatively quiet the entire game, and he'll make a big play, you know, when the Tornadoes need it most.
So another 4th and goal from beyond the 15-yard line. Try to punch this one in. Last time the ball ripped out of the hands of Anton. 3 wide receivers to his left. It's Smith to the right and Winland in the backfield. Eyes downfield. He fires right to Smith. Touchdown Tornadoes. A strike to the sophomore receiver. Gives them the lead with 5:20 to play before the half.
Great play call. Great execution by the Tornadoes. Carter Smith on the receiving end of that Jake Anton TD pass puts the Tornadoes up 12-6, and we have a Tornado down on the field here. Dylan, I can't make out the number. Can you?
Can't really see.
It's
definitely an offensive lineman. We're going to
say 69?
It is 69, so that is Evan Lewis down, the senior O-lineman, 5'10", 190. So Lewis on the ground, but the Tornadoes with the lead now. That was a great throw and catch. You know, he beat his defender, Smith. He's made plays all year.
That was a great route by Carter Smith. There wasn't a Nubian defender within 3 or 4 yards of him. He made his cut to the outside and left the defender in his wake. Yeah, Carter Smith, we saw him, go up in that same end zone and high point a ball a few weeks ago and make an outstanding catch for a touchdown. I think it was against the Morgan Raiders, if memory serves me correct.
Yeah. So Lewis,
it's just really hard to key in. Once you get Winland rolling, the defense has no choice but to key in on number 10, and that right there is exactly what you get: one-on-one isolated matchups downfield. And these Tornado receivers have proven all year long that they can make plays.
So we will see Silas Kuhn. He's made a couple nice kicks and trying to get the ball back on kickoffs, but yet to attempt a PAT. As Lewis gets some help walking off the field, limped with his leg. And
I love the decision here by Coach Brownrigg to just kick this and not chase points. You had the 2-point failed conversion on your first touchdown. Some coaches get in a mentality where you're chasing that point. I like this decision by Brownrigg. Just put it up and through the uprights and take a 7-point lead.
Good snap, good hold, kick up, and it's good. So 13-6. We mentioned no kicker for Africentric, so that 1 point could be crucial.
You can get another look at the touchdown pass here, Dylan. You see Anton keeps the defense honest by looking left until the last moment. And Carter Smith, as you can see, is all by himself over in the corner of the end zone. Anton, great use of his eyes there.
Yeah.
Keeping his eyes down the middle of the field until at the last minute he wanted to throw the ball. And then he looked over to Smith. So Anton, we've seen it, man. He's just improved each and every year, from sophomore to junior, from junior to senior. You can tell he's really put in the work.
So Kuhn getting ready. We'll see if he tries another one of his circus acts with the kickoff where he pooches it and tries to get the ball back to the Tornadoes.
You know, they've had an opportunity to recover both of those so far, so it wouldn't surprise me.
They try it again left. This is in the air, and it's a clear recovery for the Tornadoes. In to make the grab is Amari Harris. We've seen him make plays, the freshman, and there he is getting the ball back.
And I love it. Love the call. Love the execution. That was one of the most perfectly executed onside I've ever seen at any level. Silas Kuhn, hats off to you, my friend. You put that football bouncing on the ground at exactly the 11-yard mark where your players were allowed to field that football. Wow.
I tell you, Kuhn's been kicking here forever, and he's still only a junior. It feels like, you know, he's made such good kicks. He's on the kickoff team, obviously kicking them short, kicking them long. He makes field goals, rarely misses a PAT. And now, look, this game could be flipped. West End gets the ball at halftime. If they punch in another score here, it could be, you know, something to look forward to in the second half in terms of running away with it. So 4 wide receivers for Anton in the pistol. And they go to Winland. Winland once again hit hard. That's Hairston making the play.
Yeah, great tackle by Hairston, or Winland might have popped that one for about 15 yards.
Second down 9.
I love the commitment to the run, though, by the Tornadoes.
It's worked all year. Winland well over 1,000 yards on the year. It's another credit to Coach Brownrigg. You know, you get in these games, even if your run game is being stopped, it's worked for you all year. So don't just avoid it because one team makes a couple big stops on your lead back. You know, still work with it. Just under 5 to play before halftime. They motion Brownrigg. Anton juggled snap, rolls right, and he steps up. He's going to run this himself. Little spin move and tackled at the 39.
Yeah, he's able to gain
41.
6 yards on that play, maybe 5, but still going to keep him in a manageable third down here. We call it 3rd down and 4 unofficially.
Third down and 4 for Western.
Whole playbook's open on 3rd and 4 for the Tornadoes.
2 wide receivers, Houston in the backfield along with Winland. Could be a run left here. Play clock winding down, 2 seconds, and they just get it off, but I think there's a false start. So once again here, the Tornadoes penalties.
Yeah, the pre-snap penalties, just something we rarely see from West Muskingum. Very, very fundamentally sound.
Fans in the crowd voicing their frustration. I mean, that's put him back a couple times, especially in the red zone. So 2 wide receivers, they go back to that similar look. Anton takes the snap, pressure in his face, fires, and I think it's incomplete. He was going for Connor Hill.
And Connor Hill nearly made that catch. Very low to the ground with the defender all over his back and still nearly came up with the reception. But that's going to put Tornadoes likely in a punting situation here, Dylan. I don't think you can risk a 4th and 9 from near midfield. Defense has been really playing well here in this first half. Exceeded my expectations for sure coming in, seeing the explosiveness and the athleticism on this Nubians roster.
Anton's going to punt here. Watch for a fake. He's the quarterback. And Anton gets it away. Usually it's Houston with the punting duties. And look at that. Did that check up?
Let's see.
I think it's placed at the 1.
They're going to say touchback.
They're calling it a touchback. I tell you what, that's the first punt I've seen Anton make. It's been West Houston with great bombs all year, and Anton almost checked that one at the quarterback, checking it at the 1.
He sure did. That ball landed inside the 5 and nearly checked up like a pitching wedge, but unfortunately bounced right into the end zone. It was close.
Anton looks to the sideline, just shrugs his shoulders. No big deal. He's the holder on PATs. He's the quarterback. He runs the ball sometimes, and great safety with some interceptions, and here he is punting the ball. So here's this Africentric offense. Last time out, threw an interception. Cooper McKenzie made a play. Just over 3 minutes before halftime. They could punch in a drive and go to the break with a lead if they convert the 2. Here's Smith. He loads up a deep bomb, going for his guy. A little bit of tug there from Connor Hill, but no call. He was loading up for Caleb Anthony.
He was going for the home run right there. And Caleb Anthony, very, very quiet. He does have the touchdown reception for Africentric, but other than that, very, very quiet. It's a guy we've mentioned 2,000 all-purpose yards, 1,500 yards from scrimmage when you include his receiving and rushing attempts. And West Muskingum Tornadoes defensively have pretty much taken him out of the game here in the first half.
So 2nd down and 10. Smith takes the snap. He'll hand it off. Hit hard in the backfield. In to make the tackle, Carter Smith. You know he's an underclassman, but he is stepping up, making plays right here in the playoff game.
Yeah, he's a confident kid. He really plays with passion and a lot of heart. Was a big contributor last year just as a freshman. And coming in this year as a sophomore, you could see his confidence level has just risen even another notch. He knows he belongs out there.
3rd down and 9. 2 wide receivers right here for the Nubians. You got Jadon Turner at the bottom of your screen. Smith takes a snap, pressure in his face, fires across the middle, wide open, and he's going to go all the way, as that is complete to the uber-talented Daron Gray. He's in for the score. A broken coverage capitalized here for the Nubians, and it is a 1-point game with over 2 minutes.
That's the one thing the Tornadoes had to eliminate from this game was big plays. Probably the biggest concern for me coming in was limiting big plays, and the Tornado defense had done that for nearly 2 quarters, but with just over 2 minutes to play here in the first half, a little bit of a defensive breakdown allows Daron Gray to walk into the end zone. He's got more than 900 yards receiving and 11 touchdowns receiving coming into this game, so he can make some plays.
Had likely put him over 1,000. He has a catch already on a 4th down conversion. But here we go for 2. They could take the lead before halftime here. This will be Hairston wiggling his way forward, but another stop on a 2-point conversion. We mentioned the kicking game. It could be huge here. And now it's a 13-12 lead for the Tornadoes, and they got over 2 minutes to go down before halftime.
That's why I love that decision to kick the extra point on the previous touchdown by the Tornadoes and not chase that extra point. Because now you know the Nubians are going for 2 every time. So each time you stop them, that puts them a point behind.
So now a Nubian tough to get off the field. That is the talented running back Hairston. We saw him make a play on defense the last defensive possession as well. And I don't think he can get off the field. Being helped off with some trainers. Well, that's a big score, you know, just over 2 minutes to go. If you're looking at it on the bright side for West Muskingum, at least they have 2 timeouts in over 2 minutes. They could potentially get into great field goal position or even another score before the break.
And depending how the Nubians elect to kick this ball off, the last time they kicked off, they kicked it deep, and it's a risky game you're playing. We've seen Carter Smith, Connor Hill, Braxton Brownrigg. We've seen these players make some big returns this year, including all the way to the house.
Brownrigg was just about an inch away from taking it to the house on the last kickoff. He stepped out at the 50. But once again, this will be Talil Spikes kicking this one deep from the 40. 2:11 to play before the break. The bands will showcase their talent here during a postseason game. CA Music House halftime show. Spikes bombs this one on the ground. As it is taken by Connor Hill. He dances a little bit before he's tackled at the 36.
2 minutes and 5 seconds, 2 timeouts. You have 64 yards to go before you can reach the end zone. See what the Tornadoes come up with here on this series. I think there's still plenty enough time on the clock to run the ball if you want to.
Yeah, still just over those 2 minutes to go. So we'll see what Coach Brownrigg dials up. They motion a receiver, it's Brownrigg. And this will be a give to Winland. Winland with a crease, Winland with a burst, tackled. A touchdown saving tackle potentially there made by the quarterback Smith.
You're going to look at it right here. Carter Winland takes the handoff and he weaves his way through the defense. Just like he has done all season long. And Dylan, that's going to be a gain of 22 yards for Carter Winland.
So running a little bit of hurry up here as Winland hit and spins off a defender. He then gets past the 30 before he's brought down. He's hard to get, hard to go down on the first hit.
He really is. You're going to look here as he bounces, spins off the tackle, and it took Caleb Anthony going low to his ankles to bring him down near the sidelines. But 2 runs, 2 big chunk plays. Those 2 plays only took 30 seconds, Dylan. Plenty of time left.
1:25 before halftime. Brownrigg in motion. They're going to go right back to Winland. Winland pushing forward, 25 before he's tackled. Now you got to think they go through the air. 2 timeouts. Remain just over a minute. And there's the first one of those timeouts called by Coach Brownrigg.
Probably going to discuss, not just the next snap, but the next potential 2 or 3 snaps and what they want to do. If this happens, we're going to do this. If that happens, we're going to do this. So great timeout by Coach Brownrigg. Get your players on the same page. And you can execute plays a lot faster if you have them scripted, if you will, a couple plays in advance.
You've seen Anton connect with Smith in the end zone already in this one, so there's been a passing touchdown from both teams already in this game. Smith on the Africentric side with 2 passing touchdowns. So West Ham with a 1-point lead here, 1:09 to play before the break. They are in enemy territory, ball on the 21, or 26. 4 wide receivers for West Ham. Anton takes the snap, pressure in his face, rolls, fires out of bounds, incomplete. Pressure there from Talil Spikes and Chase Johnson. Both guys over 250 pounds. I think that's a scary sight if you're a quarterback.
See what the Tornadoes come up with here on a key 3rd and 6. Now you're down in there, kind of in no man's land. It'd be about a 44-yard field goal from here on a cold night like this. Probably a little much to ask Silas Coons. So, in all likelihood, 4-down territory if they don't get this 3rd down conversion.
Anton takes the snap, and there's a flag. Could be illegal motion, and it's a false start.
Dylan, and not only have they committed a handful of these, they've come at the most inopportune times.
Yep.
Really, when they can ill afford to lose these yards is when they're committing these penalties. Very costly for the Tornadoes.
Just saw Coach Brownrigg on the sideline just shake his head in frustration. I'm sure that'll be the #1 thing to talk about at the halftime break. You just can't do it. Too big of a stage, first round of the playoffs.
I would assume that and the one single defensive breakdown. They're going to talk about that, I plan as well.
3rd down and 11 to go. They motion Coleman Lloyd. Still no Tavin Bennett. Left the game with an injury earlier in this one. Fired high, pass caught Connor Hill. He's tackled. A 1st down to the mark at the 14-yard line.
Great execution. Connor Hill found him a little soft spot in the zone, and Anton put it right on him.
Anton spikes it with 54 on the clock. The clock still runs, so they're going to have to find a way to put 54 back on this one. I believe that's when the ball hit the ground.
And I'm curious to why he would spike the football and waste it down when you have a timeout left there. It's very curious. I know the time is important, but you have a timeout. I mean, just spiking the ball on first down with a minute left on the clock is bizarre to me.
So they're going to put 53 on the clock. I initially thought 54, but they'll take an extra second there. 2 wide receivers to the right. It's Brownrigg and Hill. Anton looks right. Pressure. Fires as he's getting hit. Making the adjustment and bringing it in for a touchdown. That's Braxton Brownrigg.
They haven't indicated touchdown yet. The officials. Okay, now they have. None of the officials indicated touchdown. Braxton Brownrigg made an outstanding catch and spun right back into the goal line.
So a touchdown, Tornadoes 48 seconds before the break. And here's Silas Kuhn. He could make it an 8-point game. A reminder, Tornadoes get the ball to start the second half. Good snap, good hold, kick is up, and it's good. So Silas Kuhn makes it an 8-point game, 20-12 here at Whirlwind Stadium. That's a big touchdown.
It really is.
I mean, Anton was getting hit. He almost had a knee down when he made that throw, so could have been a sack on the play, but he threw it short of the receiver, Brownrigg. He just made an adjustment, put his feet in the ground, and made the catch.
And that is certainly a big score. You mentioned the Tornadoes deferred to open the game, so they will receive the third quarter kickoff. So if they can just hold the Nubians down here for 48 seconds, they'll take momentum and an 8-point lead into the locker room and probably feel pretty darn good about themselves.
So this Nubian team, once again, they have the ability to quick strike. We saw it on their last drive, a touchdown in under a minute. So I don't know if Silas Kuhn's going to try another one of these pooch kicks. Could give him good field position. Maybe he kicks it deep. They try the pooch again. It takes a big bounce, rolls, and falling on it right there to make the grabs, Isaiah Crawford. But once again, I mean, it's not 50-50. I'd say it's almost 70-30 for West Ham on those.
Yeah, they're really putting the ball in. Kuhn's really putting that football in a position to give his teammates an opportunity to make a play. Number 9 for Nubians really made an outstanding recovery right there when he fell on that.
You know, that's the difference in the game right now, too. They scored on the drive that they got one of those pooch kicks going down, so could be something to keep in mind here. 47 seconds. This Nubian offense, they have the ability to air it out. 2 touchdown passes already for Smith. He does have an interception as well. He takes the snap, and it will be a give to Anthony. Anthony with a burst of speed to the outside. He keeps on running. He gets the first down. Only no timeouts here. Under 40 seconds. See how quick they want to go.
Saw a little bit of a glimpse of that speed and burst that number 2, Caleb Anthony, has for Africentric. When he turned that corner, it didn't take him long to cover 10 yards. West Muskingum's done a great job of containing him, filtering him back into where the help is.
So no sense of urgency here for Africentric. 24 seconds before halftime. They got 3 wide receivers to the left. About 10 seconds. I think they're just going to try a Hail Mary here. Now they're just going to run it out. Anthony again, this one to the outside. Anthony with a burst, a holding, I believe, on the play. A flag comes in. There's a flag down, and so is Anthony.
Yeah, Caleb Anthony is down, and he seems to be in significant pain. He hasn't moved much. Hopefully he'll be okay.
A West Muskingum team official comes out. There's some movement from him.
Okay. Yeah, he went straight to his stomach and stayed there.
That's just a backbreaker now for Africentric. You know, last play, they weren't trying to score there. They were just trying to run out the clock. And now this talented D1 offer, you know, multi-purpose back and receiver is down on the field.
Those last two plays were probably his best of the evening. He did have the touchdown catch in the first quarter, but those two plays right there demonstrated what he can do once he gets in the open field. Very dangerous player. Tornadoes fortunate they were able to get him to the ground.
They're working on his right leg. So they're going to go ahead and wind the clock here for halftime. So definitely something to note here in the second half. Should we see Caleb Anthony?
Has Deron Gray come back into the game since he left?
He did. He caught the big touchdown.
Oh, that's right, he did.
That last touchdown drive they had.
We've seen the quarterback Smith down, we've seen Anthony down, and we've seen Gray down, and those are their three primary playmakers. And they've all experienced an injury of some sort here in this first half.
So Anthony walking off the field under his own power. We'll see how that affects this team in the second half. West End gets the ball to start the second half. They're up 8 here, 20-12 from Whirlwind Stadium. We're going to step aside with 20 minutes here on the clock for the CA Music House. CA Music House, Play Music for Life, the halftime show coming up here on South 60 Films. Enjoy the halftime show as we step aside. We'll be back with highlights and the second half of play. We're going to step aside. You are watching OHSAA playoff football here on South 60 Films.
Now it's time for the halftime show featuring bands from both high schools, presented by CA House Music, Play Music for Life.
Ladies and gentlemen, get ready to unleash your excitement as we welcome the 2024 edition of the Tornado Marching Band. Storming the field in the 29th season, led by the one and only Mr. Andrew Big Daddy Weeks. Brace yourselves for a whirlwind of talent and energy that's sure to blow you away. The band starts tonight with a pop song that debuted at number 9 before topping out at number 2 on the charts. Here's Lady Gaga's Bad Romance. Albanian pop star Dua Lipa had a second top 5 hit in the U.S. with our next song, which was ranked the #1 song in 2021. The band continues tonight with Levitating. The band finishes tonight with a hit song from one of the 80s most epic hair bands, Twisted Sisters. Sing along as the band rocks out to We're Not Gonna Take It.
Thank you for watching the band Halftime Show, presented by CA House Music. Play music for life.
Welcome back in, right here. It's a good football game so far. We got a round 1 playoffs. West End with a 20-12 lead over Africentric, so a lot to look forward to. Let's take a look at some of the first half highlights that we have in this one. Right away, this is Africentric connecting on a 4th down conversion to open the scoring. Big throw and catch, that one to the receiver, Anthony.
Yeah, great pitch and catch on a 4th down and 8. West End unable to make a play defensively there, but they're going to come right back.
Yeah, it was a long offensive drive, but this was a near score on the kickoff for West End. Stepped out of bounds right there, the left foot. You saw Braxton Brownrigg step out of bounds, but it didn't matter because they ended up connecting on that touchdown. Great throw and catch here.
Yeah, love this play design right here. Anton rolling out to his right. They sneak Carter Winland out of the backfield on a wheel route. Defense unable to cover the ground fast enough.
Then the next offensive possession for West End, a 4th down opportunity, but boom, in there for the strip sack. That's Jadon Turner. Gave Africentric the ball, and then eventually they had an opportunity. This is rolling right, and it was Cooper McKenzie making a play, intercepting the ball.
A great play by McKenzie. Had an outstanding first half on the defensive side of the football. Did the young sophomore McKenzie.
This was one of those pooch kicks we've seen all night from Silas Kuhn. It jumped right into the hands of a defender of West Muskingum, and they were able to capitalize on that. The next possession for Africentric, a deep ball connecting with the very talented Deron Gray as he went all the way to the house, no one in sight to catch him.
Yeah, with the exception of a handful of pre-snap penalties and that one single defensive breakdown right there, I think West Muskingum played a pretty darn good first half of football. We saw Carter Winland establish the run on the ground in the first quarter. All 3 West Muskingum touchdowns came via the air, however. 3 touchdown passes for Anton in the first half. 1 to Winland, 1 to Carter Smith, 1 to Braxton Brownrigg. So spreading the wealth around to his teammates is the senior signal caller here tonight. So we need to see the Tornadoes clean up the pre-snap penalties here in the second half and avoid any defensive breakdowns on the back end that allow those big plays downfield. And I think the Tornadoes have set themselves up very well here.
So we are underway here in half number 2. This is Carter Smith on the return, and he rumbles and tumbles to about the 45-yard line. Great field position all night for this Tornado offense.
Yeah, this team, the Tornadoes, they return kicks extremely well. They set up their blocking well, and they're very aggressive on the path they take. They don't run side to side laterally. You'll see right here, Carter Smith grabs it. He's heading upfield immediately.
So this is a big opening drive. We talk about penalties. That was definitely something that has hamstrung the Tornadoes in the first half. They were in the red zone several times with goal-to-go situations, backed up and didn't capitalize on the first one. They were able to score another one later, but an 8-point lead, I think this is a big drive. Maybe run the ball, get some time of possession, and then go out there and try to put a score in the end zone. They're going to first try that with Carter Winland. He gets to the 49-yard line, a gain of 4 on the play.
Nice gain on first down, the same formation we saw him open the game with and run the first couple plays out of. Bunch formation, no receivers in the set. They've had a lot of success out of that formation here in this game, Dylan, and I agree with you, my friend. I wouldn't mind seeing them just run the football and take as much air out of this clock as they possibly can. Another stoppage in play. We talked during the break, very slow moving first half. Several penalties slowing things down, and injuries also a concern.
So that was an injury on the play to Deron Gray. He's already left the game once, but that time they're going to have to take him to the sideline for one play. It seems that's going to be the only time that they will go. No sign of the talented Caleb Anthony on the defensive side. We mentioned right before halftime, got hurt on the final play. And he is yet to be seen here on the field.
That would definitely be significant.
They motion Wes Houston. This will be Anton himself. He has a crease. Past the 40, past the 30. He keeps on running, and he is tripped up and tackled about the 14-yard line, but it's the quarterback calling his own number all the way.
Love the decision by Anton. You watch the play fake right here. Fakes it to Winland. The defense all reacts to that. And Anton finds a little crease, and he goes. His speed is really underestimated as he takes that all the way down near the 10-yard line. Call the line of scrimmage the the 14, it looks like.
So 2 wide receivers to the right. It's Winland in the backfield. West M in striking distance. In motion, Houston. It's a give to Winland. Winland, big gap, runs forward. And he is inside the 10 with that carry.
I know it's really, really early here in the second half, but you put a touchdown up here and go up 2 scores, you're really setting your defense up to be the hero in this game. As we mentioned, just the one big play Africentric has got on this defense. Other than that, it's been small chunks of yardage at a time.
So 2nd down and 4. This is Winland. He dances a little bit to the left, works his way forward and into the end zone. There goes Carter Winland. He's got 1 rushing and 1 receiving on the night.
Second trip to the end zone for Winland, as you mentioned, and as soon as he crossed the goal line, Coach Nate Brownrigg held the number 1 finger up in the air. They're going to send Silas Kuhn out there and kick the extra point, which we assumed they would. Went for too early after a penalty was called on Africentric, was unable to get that one in. So fortunate it hasn't cost them in this game.
Here is Kuhn. And he will add another. So 27-12 the score.
You mentioned we haven't seen Caleb Anthony. That is definitely significant. That's going to certainly change their game plan offensively, I would imagine. And when you're trying to make up a 15-point deficit on the road in Week 11, and you're down your best playmaker, that's a tough task right there, Dylan.
Yeah, definitely something to keep in mind here. Maybe they're just saving him for the offensive side of the ball, but it appears they're going to send back a new returner. So not seen on defense or in the return game. And another thing to note, he was the backup quarterback we saw. So definitely something to keep in mind as we go forward. But Kuhn so far has been successful on 1 pooch kick and has come really close on a couple others. You think they might do it again here?
That's
but no Anthony back there.
Yeah, curious decision here. Once they have this semi-comfortable lead, let's call it, we decide to kick this one deep, or will they stick to the script?
They have a bunch of defenders up front. They will kick it to the left and right into the hands of a tornado. So it's worked all night. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. And there to come up with the play on the snag is Ashton Ansel.
And there were no Nubians there to make the play. They did not make an adjustment. They did not do anything differently to field that kick, as there were 3 tornadoes that were capable of fielding that ball before any Nubian was. If they're going to continue to line up that way, you know, you're going to need a strong front line to field that kick. You're going to need your best hands guys up front instead of deep, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's worked twice already in this one. Like I said, it's almost 70-30 the way it's gone. It's not even a toss-up scenario. So West M once again gets the ball back, and they will give it to Carter Winland. And he's just going to try to run this clock out. Stays on his feet, and he's past the 40.
Whew. Tough running by Carter Winland. Probably one of the toughest 7-yard runs you're ever going to see. See the handoff right here. Winland cuts left. Unable to get him to the ground were 2 different Nubians. 3, 4, 5. It took a half dozen Nubians to get Carter Winland to the ground after a 7-yard tote.
Over on the New Lexington side, the Panthers lead the Wildcats 40-14. Stevens just connected with Bentley Hansen for a touchdown. So some more positive results from the MVL, as there is Anton again. Very similar play design to what got him into the red zone on the last drive, and he works his way close to the 20.
Sure did. It's going to be a gain of 20. And the quarterback scramble by Anton. I think that was designed run. I think you're right. Same exact play. Anton able to scurry on down to the 20-yard line. West Muskingum back in business in the red zone.
So now 1st down and 10 again. Just over 9 to play, quarter number 3. They've been lining up with this loaded backfield. 3 in the backfield a couple times here tonight.
Early timeout here in the second half by Africentric. Try to calm his defense down. Coach Jamel Davis. You mentioned they've really played and defeated a lot of good teams this year when you look at their schedule and results, but I'm not sure the Nubians have been on the field with such a hard-nosed team, you know, such a committed, every player in a blue hat's committed to each other and winning this football game. Really got to admire the coaching job Nate Brownrigg's done here in just a short time. He's really turned this program around, established a true culture of winning.
So if they win, they will play again next week. Obviously, they would. It appears they might be playing Fairland, which is a decent trot from the Zanesville area, over
Sure is.
2.5 hours.
Yeah, about 130 plus miles any way you cut it up. And I mentioned Fairland, the Dragons playing at home tonight against the Pioneers of Zane Trace. They're the 15 seed, so we expect the Dragons to win that one.
West Houston in motion. This is an end-around give, and there it is to the outside. Braxton Brownrigg past the 20, is to about the 15 before he is tackled. So Brownrigg, he has a touchdown in this one, and there he is on a end-around sweep play. So 14 yards for a first down now. Under 9 to play. Tornadoes really controlling this one here in the second half. You thought they clean up those penalties, and you can really expect them to jump out in front now.
Well, they received the third quarter kickoff, went right down and scored, and then recovered their own onside kick. So Nubians yet to touch the football offensively here in the second half.
That's a give to Winland. He gets to the 10. They've been gifted a lot of extra possessions. You know, Silas Kuhn 2 times on the kickoff, getting the ball right back. Easy recoveries, too. It's not like, oh, it's a close toss-up. No, they've been able to easily recover those onside kicks. And then, of course, you have the interception that was thrown by Smith in the first half. As there is Anton. He gets to about the 5. And there is a late hit on the play. And that is Jadon Turner, a senior wide receiver and D lineman, as he throws a tornado to the ground.
Anton was right down near the marker already. And that's going to move the football, in all likelihood, half the distance from there. Anton got down around the 5. This is going to have to be a half the distance penalty. Should put the football right around the 2.5 yard line.
It was Dominic Stevenson that was thrown to the ground. We've already seen one lineman hurt for the Tornadoes, as it was Evan Lewis who left the game. Now in the I formation, Anton, he'll give to Winland. Winland bounces left, still on his feet, and he is tackled close to the original line.
Yeah, refusing to go down was Winland. Kept his legs moving.
So 2 injuries on the West End side, both players not returned yet to this game. Tavin Bennett, the receiver, he had a big catch in the first quarter of this game. He got rolled up on a run, and then he has yet to return as his ankle taped. He's tried jogging it off a couple times, but have not seen him. And then I mentioned Evan Lewis, he has not yet returned to the game as well. Over 7 to play, quarter 3. And this is a play action. Anton's going to keep it himself. The defender slips, and he's into the end zone. Jake Anton calls his own number and runs it in for the score. This game getting out of hand.
Yeah, you know, with about 2 minutes to play before halftime, it was a 13-12 game. Nip and tuck all the way through, closely contested. And the Tornadoes in the final 2 minutes of the first half and the first 5 minutes of the third quarter have really blown this game open now. 33-12, extra point pending. Tornadoes with an opportunity to go up 22 points here if Kuhn's able to connect on this PAT.
Kuhn is up and good. So a 34-12 game. Yeah, like you said, it was a close game with 2 minutes before halftime. And then you
can just look at the body language out on the field. The Tornadoes running, cheerful, slapping hands with one another. The Nubians just kind of walking around aimlessly, kind of confused look on their faces. That's never the body language you want to see as a head coach. And if there's one thing, I knew coming in that if there's one thing you can count on West Muskingum, they are all for one for all. They play for one another. And that oftentimes is enough to tip the scales. But the Tornadoes have not only tipped the scales tonight, they've been dominant here in the third quarter here in the early going. But Nubians yet to touch the ball offensively. As I mentioned, we'll see what they have to offer. But with no Caleb Anthony out there, that sure makes that riddle a lot easier to solve if you're Coach Brownrigg on the defensive end.
So now we are finally seeing Africentric playing to the onside kick strategy. They have one return man on the 21, but other than that, everyone lined up, ready to receive this short kick. Now you can kind of kick it deep if you want to.
Now they've adjusted. Finally, after 4 of these kicks, 2 of them recovered by the Tornadoes. They finally put some hands guys and some extra bodies up on the front line.
I think Kuhn's going to kick this one deep. Conversation by the Nubians.
The thing about Kuhn is his approach does not give away how he's going to kick the football. Very sneaky like that.
This time he does kick it deep. So it is juggled and dropped on the 12-yard line as being hit and juking his way forward. Actually not a bad gain for where he fielded the ball, as that was Maishawn Wright, sophomore. So not only do you lose Anthony on the offensive and defensive side, but you lose his return ability that we've seen Africentric pose all year. So this time Wright gets his hands on a little bit of a juggle, but it's the first kick deep we've seen all night.
Really, they were unable to get him really involved offensively in the game, with the exception of the first touchdown pass to open our scoring. He really was a non-factor offensively, but still his presence is going to be sorely missed out there by the Nubians, and it'll probably give their offense a completely different look and feel.
So 2 wide receivers to the right. 34-12 the score. This is a give to Hairston. Hairston gets past the 30.
Anthony on the carry to the 30-yard line. Tackled by Williams.
They say Anthony on the carry, but I don't believe that was Anthony.
That sure wasn't. That was Hairston, number 7. I have yet to see Anthony on the field in the second half.
I don't see him on the sidelines either. So 2 wide receivers now for Smith and the Nubians. And there is a flag on the play, and it's a false start. So moving back 5.
I think they're going to get the receiver, number 5. He was split to the wide side all alone by himself. I think he took off just a hair early.
So that is Rashard Hudson. Nine seniors on this Africentric team. Mentioned not that deep of a roster. Only a handful of freshmen, mostly juniors and seniors here. Pressure on the outside, and the pass is high over the head of his intended receiver. Hudson in there once again on the defensive side. Cooper McKenzie.
Cooper McKenzie, I just saw his number, 31. He was one of the 2 pass rushers who forced Smith to maybe throw that football a little earlier than he wanted to. Caused it to be slightly off the mark as the receiver unable to handle that. Big third down here for the West Muskingum defense. We've seen the Nubians go for it each and every 4th down so far, but they are really deep in their own territory right now.
5:47 to play. 3rd down and 7. Here is Smith. Throws right once again. Hands up, making the play. I believe that was Carter Smith in there.
And I believe you have to punt this football, Dylan, if you're Africentric. If you go for 4th and 7 from your own 24-yard line, that would be a huge gamble.
And I think we will see the first punt of the night. Maybe a fake punt here. Haven't seen any punter on this team yet tonight.
Connor Hill, Carter Smith, both back to receive this punt for West Muskingum. They're set up really fairly deep.
It's a high snap, and it is Smith that punts this one away, and it is dropped on the play by Carter Smith. See who has it.
I think West Muskingum was able to fall on the football. See who did. It was Carter Smith who fell on his own fumble, able to get back on top of it. No harm, no foul.
So that was Smith punting to Smith.
And we mentioned a couple times here that this game was 13-12 with 2 minutes remaining in the second quarter. We're now 5.5 to play in the third quarter. And if West Muskingum puts 8 points on the board, we're going to have a running clock. And that's one thing I certainly would have never expected coming in here tonight.
I think the extra possessions definitely attribute to that.
Absolutely.
I mean, you get more chances with the ball in your hands.
And when you have such confidence in your defense, even if they recover at their own 40, you still feel good about your chances.
So we have seen Tavin Bennett check back into the game. He was there on the kick return coverage, as this is a jet sweep pass to Carter Smith. He is brought down about the 48-yard line. Tackled on the play by Jadon Turner.
Yeah, great play, great pursuit by Turner. If Smith was able to shake him, he would have had a substantial gain downfield. A lot of green grass if he was able to turn that corner. The 14 was able to slow him down just enough.
So 5 minutes to go here in the third quarter.
Expect a heavy dose of number 10 here in the next handful of plays.
And there is Winland, hit hard in the backfield. Bunch of Nubians in there to make the tackle.
You got another Nubian down on the field, Dylan. Looks like number 59.
I think it's 58. That is Kylan Smith.
And it seems to be a lower right leg injury on him as well. It could be a cramp, but that'd be strange in this kind of weather.
Yeah.
Don't normally see cramps on week 11, but that seems to be what he's dealing with, that calf cramping up. And that is painful. Anyone who's ever experienced that.
Good old Charlie horse.
Oh. You think it's all over for about 2 minutes.
He was also grabbing the hamstring, so they attend to Smith on the field. Let's take a look back at this game, though. You know, we're sitting here mid-third quarter. I guess you could say the bottom half of the third quarter here, 4:29. You know, West Muskingum's defense, I think, also made an adjustment here. You know, they were able to get some stops. You see McKenzie making great plays in the backfield. They're getting their hands up on pass plays, too. That's 2 deflected passes here on the Africentric drive that they just had. So, you know, I think that was a message, too. They got burnt and busted coverage in the first half.
Yeah, those were the 2 things I'm sure were on the top of the discussion list in the locker room. That one defensive breakdown on the back end that allowed a long touchdown pass to Gray, and the pre-snap penalties. You know, those 2 easy things to correct in game. The Tornadoes have done so. As the Nubians just hope to have enough players to finish this game at this point.
Yeah.
I mean, they're just losing them one after another, and they don't have much to spare. We mentioned early in the game, they only had 9 players on the sidelines, so that means they have a roster of 20.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not a lot to choose from.
So now it's a 3rd down and 11 for the Tornadoes. 4 wide receivers, Anton with Winland to his right. Clock is ticking. Anton takes a snap, pressure in his face, he takes a shot, fires in right there to make the catch and the interception. Going past the 50 and out of bounds, that is Rashard Hudson.
Yeah, Anton was hit right as he released that pass, and it made the football come up well short. We're going to get another look right here. Anton, the pressure from Levin right there, hit him in the back just as he released the football, caused it to come up a few yards short of the intended receiver, who was Carter Smith.
So that was Jalen Hudson, or rather Jalen Turner, that was in there to make the hit on Anton, and then it was Hudson to intercept it.
The Tornado D back to work.
So here is Joshua Smith. 4:15 to play in the 3rd. He's rolling right, steps up, fires one deep. Two players there for West End, and it's going to be intercepted. And that's a takeaway right there. To grab it is Coleman Lloyd. There is a flag down.
I was just getting ready to mention Coleman Lloyd's name, as we're going to get another look at the Ohio Educational Credit Union replay. Great effort by number 6, Coleman Lloyd, to step in front of that ball. And the penalty was illegal man downfield, which will be declined by the Tornadoes. They'll take possession of the football and the interception. And you mentioned Coleman Lloyd. I think he's in there for Bennett.
Yeah.
Who that's his typical spot in the secondary. And I'm pretty sure Coleman Lloyd is playing where Bennett usually plays, and able to come up with the interception there. Huge play.
So right when you thought that, Africentric had some sort of momentum, the only ones that they had so far in the second half, it's Smith that throws an interception. He just looked straight into double coverage and just fired it up for his guy, Gray, who made a play earlier in the game. And, it definitely could. He just stared down one guy and went there.
Yep.
So West Ham trying to control time of possession now. Mentioned a 34-12 lead. This is Winland. He runs forward, gets a couple yards on his first down carry. And this Tornado offense right back to work. We talked about Africentric's first drive. They took about 6-7 minutes off the clock. And then ever since, it's sort of been West Ham's and could do what they want with the ball.
Seems that way. You're right. They went down the field. They converted a pair of 4th downs on their very first drive of the game. But West Muskingum has made in-game adjustments and solved this riddle very quickly. And Africentric has failed to make the necessary adjustments.
So here is a play action. Fires in the direction of Brownrigg, or rather, it was Ashton Ansel, and it was incomplete.
Pass a little bit low. Ansel almost came up with that football. Good coverage by the Nubians. 3rd and 7. Deep in your own territory. Can't afford any mistakes here. Take care of the football if you're West Muskingum. Punting the football is perfectly fine from here. And now you have a 22-point lead.
So Amari Harris checked in for that play. He's the freshman. He's been solid this year a couple times for West Muskingum. He made a play in this one already as well. This is a play action, or rather it's an option play. And there goes Anton. He'll get past the 15.
And that will no doubt bring up a punting situation for the Tornadoes. 4th down and 4, deep in their own territory at the 16-yard line.
So Anton's going to stay in to punt this one away. We talked, Houston was the one that's been the punter primarily this year, but he's the one snapping the ball. So not sure if there was a long snapper injury or something, but it will be Anton on this 4th and 4.
They
This will check up to past the 50, and there's 12 players on the field right now for Africentric.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. They sneak someone off.
And now a flag is thrown. Very delayed flag after everyone in the crowd were screaming that there were 12 on the field.
Yeah, we have the West Muskingum coaching staff just to our right, and they were very animated, and rightfully so. There were not just 12 men on the field at the snap, there were 12 men participating in the play.
We're going to wait for word. They might pick it up. There you see Coach Brownrigg talking to the officials.
Well, I mean, it was a 4th and 4. That would have to at least be a 5-yard penalty, one would think.
Yeah.
I mean, we'll see what the official call is. Illegal substitution, they're going to say. So they're going to bring the football back. They're going to assess the 5-yard penalty, and that should give the Tornadoes a free first down here, Dylan.
So we talk about penalties so far in this game. Africentric was several. You know, in the first half, they...
Yep. And that one right there is probably the most costly of the game, because with 2:28 remaining in the third quarter, you desperately need a possession of the football. You're down 3 scores. Time is not on your side here in this game if you're Africentric. So very, very costly penalty that's going to give the Tornadoes another set of downs. And you give this Tornado team freebies like that, they oftentimes make you pay.
So a 22-point lead for West End, 2:28 to play in the third quarter. I think we're going to see a lot of Winland here as we head into the later stages of this game. And he immediately gets the carry, and he immediately gets stuffed. So not much of a gain on first down.
But it keeps the clock moving, which is, if you're a West Muskingum fan, you just want that clock to continue to tick, 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 tick. 2:10 and counting here in the third quarter. Even if they don't gain a first down on this set of downs, it should take us to the end of the third quarter at least.
So just under 2 minutes to play. And here is Winland. He bounces it out to the right, and he is hit before he's taken out of bounds. About the 37-yard line.
Be a nice gain, about 6, maybe 7 yards. Going to bring up a third down and 4.
So the quarterback, Joshua Smith, hasn't played much defense so far this year, but you mentioned the injury so far in this one on the Africentric side. He's out there right now. And you know, I'm sure that's hurting the eyes of the college recruits looking at him. You know, he's got offers from Toledo and Central Michigan, so the quarterback is throwing 2 interceptions in this one too. This is Anton on the run, and he is past the first down marker, and he will move the chains for a Tornado first down.
Yes, he is. Needed 4, gain 5. Move the sticks. The Tornadoes would love to just move the football down the field methodically here, use a lot of clock, and punch one in the end zone would be ideal. I mentioned this is, in all likelihood, the last home football game for many, many seniors on this Tornado team. Unless the 15 seed Zane Trace Pioneers pull off the upset tonight, and Tornadoes could get a second home game in this postseason. But the Fairland Dragons, a very, very good football team. But 2 years ago, the Tornadoes went all the way down there and defeated Fairland. I believe that was a first-round game. Kind of shocked them. I don't think they were expecting the Tornadoes to make a 3-hour drive down and win that football game, but that's exactly what happened. I am just so impressed by the effort here tonight, and execution as well from both sides of the football, the Tornado offense and defense. And got to give those 5 guys up front, a whole lot of credit, giving up a lot of size in this matchup, and they have more than held their own tonight.
They have been impressive. Only a couple big hits on Anton, but other than that, very impressed the offensive line, especially when you lose players to injury. Here is Winland, and he is tackled. You lose Evan Lewis. He's a senior O-lineman early in this game, and the line is still held up pretty well in this one against a couple big players on the Africentric side. So under a minute now in the third quarter. 2nd down and 10. Brownrigg in motion. They'll give it to him. And he's got some blockers out in front. He's tackled just shy of the 50. There is a flag down.
And that flag came from way back. It's going to be a hold on the Tornadoes. That's going to bring them back once more. That's at least the 3rd, potentially the 4th holding call on the Tornadoes here in this one. Very atypical.
So that will move them back a long ways. I think they're fine with that, though. Obviously, you're up 22, but any chance you get to tick more time off the clock with a 2nd down, you'll take it.
All right, this could very well be the last snap of the third quarter here, Dylan. Under 30 seconds here to remaining in this quarter.
So 2 wide receivers with Houston and Winland in the backfield. Anton with play action. He throws it out in the direction of Houston, tipped at the line.
That ball wouldn't have been tipped. West Houston was wide open with running room ahead of them. Very, very fortunate for the Nubians. They were able to get a fingertip on that pass and deflect it.
Jaden Turner there to make the play. Both Turners on the defensive side have made plays. Jalen Turner got the hit on Jake Anton that caused an interception earlier in the third quarter. But then we see the other one here. So 14 seconds before the end of the third. Long game so far here. 9:20 your official time at night. 13 to go before the quarter break. And now West End will take a timeout. We want to remind you a couple sponsors from tonight. Fink's Used Cars and Fink's Harley Davidson, they're proud sponsors of the Friday Night Blitz. That's coming to an end over on WHIZ as the season closes here soon. City Tire Pro, Coshocton Tire Pros, and Buckeye Tire Pros, the player of the game sponsor. We'll tell you who that is tonight in our post-game show. There's tons of people we could pick from here on the West Muskingum side.
Pass along other area scores while we have a moment. Tri-Valley up big at home in the third quarter against Carrollton, 43-6. So the Scotty Dogs having no issues in the first round matchup against Carrollton. That's a 3-14 matchup. New Lexington's also a 3 seed. They're up 55-21 at home against Canton South. So MVL looking good tonight.
So 14 seconds before the quarter break, here is Anton. He loads one up deep. He's got Carter Smith, and it just goes off his hands. I think you could say that was a drop there. Yes, it was a beautiful ball. A little bit out of the reach, but still got hands on it and still could have brought it in.
Going to get another look at just the accuracy and arm strength of Jake Anton. All the way downfield, and you meant just out of the grasp of Carter Smith. And very cold, hard footballs are very hard to catch when the weather gets like this. It's a completely different game than the one you play in September.
So now there's a personal foul on West Muskingum, and I think this is something, you go into next week, you got to clean up these penalties. It's been better in the second half, but another holding in this. I mean, look at where the first down marker is. It's on the 47-yard line, and they're going to be putting the ball on the opposing 33.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, definitely going to be a topic, point of discussion for the Tornadoes immediately after this game and going into the preparation for next week. As you know, you mentioned that they can be really costly. They can be the difference between a win and a loss in a close game.
So 4th and 35, it'll be a miracle if you could punt it to the first down marker. Here is Anton. And this one goes off the side of his foot and out of bounds. It's near the 40. We'll see where they want to mark it at.
In the last 30 seconds of the third quarter seem like they've taken about 20 minutes here, Dylan.
It's been an eternity. So they're going to mark it pretty favorably to the Africentric side. I think they're going to mark it at the 30. So here comes this Africentric offense. Threw a pick on the last drive. Stared down his target, Gray. This is a play action. Smith rolls right. And he's just going to keep it himself and go out of bounds at the 25.
That'll be the final play of the third quarter, my friend. Finally heading into the fourth quarter.
So that's going to do it for quarter number 3. 22-point Tornado lead. Africentric with the ball in the red zone now, or at least close to it. As we will step aside, you are watching OHSAA High School Playoff Football here on South 60 Films. Quarter number 4, we've made it to the final quarter here, partner. It's a chilly one.
It's very cold tonight.
We're bad game not to be in the booth.
Completely exposed on the roof of the press box.
So 2nd down and 5 for Africentric. This will be a handoff as they run it forward. And it is Gerald Waderker. Sorry, first time we said his name all night, the senior tailback. So that goes for a first down. If you wanted to know about the Fairland game, that is a 31-7 score. So they are in the driver's seat there. So I believe, barring anything unforeseen, Fairland and West M. This pass for an intended receiver, Hudson, he slipped, and there is a flag down. Maybe he was tripped up there.
It's that's quite a journey down to Proctorville. You know, the West Muskingum fans 2 years ago who made the trek know all about it. For those who haven't, it's you really can't get any further south and still be in the state of Ohio than Proctorville. You know, right across the river from Huntington, West Virginia.
So stop me if you heard this before. Another penalty in this game. This one on West M, as it is pass interference, and they move the ball inside the 10. So first goal-to-go situation of the night for Africentric. All of their touchdowns have been converted outside of a goal-to-go scenario. So they got the talented Gray at the top of your screen to the left of Smith. In the backfield is Waterker. And they will just throw it in the direction of Gray, and he'll catch his second of the night.
Very good catch by Gray. He had to adjust and make the catch kind of behind his body as his momentum was going forward. We're getting another look here. The pass slightly behind. You see Gray reach back and make the reception. He's an uber talented player, as we mentioned. 6'4", 210 pounds, just a junior, drawing all kinds of Division I attention from the likes of Kentucky, Appalachian State. I mean, there's a whole list of schools interested in him.
As well as Marshall and Miami of Ohio. So 4 offers in hand at this point for him. He's got over 100 yards receiving in this one, 2 touchdowns. Now they're going to go for 2. If they do, and make it a 14-point game, and there's a flag.
Delay a game against the offense, 5-yard penalty.
Delay a game on a PAT. I'm not sure I've ever seen that before.
So that'll move them back even more. Maybe it'll help them. They haven't been able to convert from the 2 anyway, so. Here is Smith rolling right, pressure in his face. He's being chased down by none other than McKenzie. And he fires towards the end zone, incomplete.
I was about to say, there comes 31. He's a madman on a mission. Going to get another look at it. Watch Cooper McKenzie shed his blocker right there, and he's zoned in on number 4. He wasn't able to make the play, but it was his presence that caused the unsuccessful PAT, that's for sure. And tell you what, partner, he's making a pretty strong case for himself for player of the game.
I know. I was thinking about him.
I know Anton's thrown 3 TD passes, and Winland scored twice, but
Anton rushed one in as well.
Yeah, it's just wow. I mean, McKenzie has his fingerprints all over this game. When they go to the film room tomorrow or Monday, whenever they do that, coaches are gonna recognize 31. I guarantee you.
He has an interception. He blew up a play in the backfield on the opening drive for Africentric. He's been in the backfield looking at the quarterback several times. Definitely has his fingerprints on the defensive side of the ball. So 11:28 to play, quarter number 4. 4 unsuccessful 2-point tries here, or rather 3 for Africentric.
It could be a 10-point game.
And he kicks that one straight into the chest, or should I say the general direction of a West Muskingum tornado. He falls to the ground, but it is Ashton Ansel who is able to gobble that one up.
The tornado is going to start out with the best field position of the night after receiving a kickoff.
That's got to hurt. Cold football on a cold night. It's rock hard, and it's kicked right at your belt line. That's not going to feel good. Nevertheless, it was Ansel that was able to grab that one in.
Let's see if the Tornadoes can get back to running the football. Get 2 or 3 first downs here, run the football downhill, and use as much of this fourth quarter clock as you can.
So 34-18 your score now. After that last touchdown. Yeah, we talk about 3 2 points that they left on the board. Do the math, that's 6 extra points. We have ourselves a pretty solid football game should they convert those. It'd be a 10-point game.
It's going to be the 4th offside infraction against the Nubians.
Offside against the defense.
Jake Anton kind of does a hard clap, and that's drawing the Nubians defensive front 4 right over top of the neutral zone several times here this evening.
So that'll move the ball into the Nubian territory. We talked about it in the open. Both of these teams playing their best football coming into this one, as there is Anton. And once again, we talk about the Turners on the defensive side. That is Jaden Turner getting in the backfield.
That's going to be a 4-yard loss on first down. However, due to the penalty on the previous snap, it was 1st and 5, so still only going to be in about a 2nd and 9 here for the Tornadoes.
But September 13th, the date both of these teams had circled, it was the last time they lost a football game, so well over a calendar month, 2 calendar months since they lost a game. Here is Anton. He will give to Winland. Winland works forward, stays on his feet, another flag flies.
And you notice how deep those flags are coming from. It's hard to believe they're able to see that hold. I mean, he's literally 25 yards away from where the hold supposedly happened.
I don't think the refs have any plans tonight. So that's going to move them back well beyond. I mean, this is exactly what's happened all night offensively. They had one drive where they didn't have any penalties when they came out of the halftime break. But other than that, I mean, it's been the second down, third downs where they put themselves in situations where it's kind of hard to convert. So now it is second down and 18. Quick screen pass. Oh, read perfectly there. That was almost a pick six for Jalen Turner.
You know, you take out the last 2 minutes of the second quarter and the first 6 minutes of the third quarter, you know, this would probably be a neck-and-neck ball game. West Muskingum just totally dominated the end of the first half and the beginning of the second half, which are always key to coaches. You know, they always like to finish strong in the first half and come out strong in the second half. Tornadoes were able to do that, but they have committed so many pre-snap penalties as well as holding penalties, which is very rare.
Third down and 18. Anton drops back, pressure in his face, and he's going to be sacked. It was Turner in the backfield again, Jadon Turner, as well as Talil Spikes.
Bring up a punting situation for the Tornadoes.
This game's not over yet.
It certainly isn't. It kind of felt that way about 10 minutes ago, but yeah, it kind of has a whole different feel now. The Tornadoes unable to establish that run game, unable to move the chains. 2 3 and outs on consecutive possessions. You know, the only enemy to you right now is time, and that's what you're gifting the Africentric Nubians.
That punt was almost blocked as it takes a nice bounce, goes right into the hands of Gray. He spins off a couple people, and Carter Smith in there to help out his teammates to tackle down Gray.
West Muskingum's going to have to buckle down defensively here, not give up any big chunk plays, force the Nubians to move methodically down the field and use a lot of time.
You know, you lose a Caleb Anthony. That's definitely someone they could use right now on both sides of the ball if you are Africentric. And you know, on their last kickoff, they kicked it straight at Ashton Ansel. So, you know, there's potentially something to keep in mind. If they drill it off a kick returner and it goes in their favor, they could easily be back into this game. This is Smith. He will give to his tailback, and another flag on the ground.
This one came from the line judge. So curious to see what this call is. Be a strange place. False start. I'm going to say it'd be a strange place for a holding flag to come out. It was also strange timing for a false start, as it seemed like the play had already been going for several seconds. Usually false start, they throw that penalty immediately and stop the play. Nevertheless, that's going to move the Nubians back. They haven't done themselves any favor regarding penalties either here in this one. They have really shot themselves in the foot several times when they look like they had a little bit of momentum.
First down and 15. 2 wide receivers to the right and 1 to the left. And this one thrown across the middle. Pass is caught by Turner, and he fights his way past the 45 and into Tornado territory.
And that's going to be close to a 30-yard gain. The one thing we just mentioned you cannot allow to happen defensively, big chunk plays.
You know, Joshua Smith has thrown a couple interceptions in this game, but he's poised in that pocket. He'll stand in there, throw a dart across the middle. He's seen his legs a little bit as well. This is a play action. Once again, fires Wes Houston almost there to pick it off.
He sure was. Just off the fingertips of number 33, Wes Houston. That would have been a huge play defensively for West Muskingum. But the Nubians are laying it all out there now. They have nothing to lose. This is the most dangerous opponent to face, is when their backs are against the wall and they're kind of playing loose and free.
8:30 to play in the fourth quarter. This will be a give to the tailback, and tripped up in the backfield. In to make the stop is Caden Fleming.
Brought down by Caden Fleming.
Fleming's made several good plays defensively in this game. Add that one to his tally.
Third down and 10 for the Nubians.
Was Waterker on the carry. Said his names a couple times here in the second half. Big third down and 10. I think if you're West Em, all eyes have to be on stopping Deron Gray Jr.
He's number 10. He's in motion right now.
They take the snap, and they're going to give it to Waterker. Strange play call here. Trailing by a lot with time not on your side. They run the ball and get nothing on third down.
Cale McGreevy on the stop for West Muskingum. Brings up a big fourth down. 7.5 minutes remaining in this football game. Tornado fans seem to be able to feel how important this fourth down is.
4 wide receivers. Smith takes the snap. Fires inside the zone, making the play is Gray.
He backtracked.
He did. He went back for it, and I think he's still enough for the first down.
I'll tell you what, that's very dangerous. He very well could have lost the first down for his team trying to gain a handful of extra yards. See him right there. Catches at the 30, backtracks to the 34 on his own, which I would never recommend.
So now a timeout comes in for Africentric. That's their second. They've taken a lot of timeouts here in inopportune times.
Timeout Africentric.
Well, that's actually their third timeout of the half.
So that will leave them with no remaining timeouts. The remaining 6 minutes and 50 seconds.
Trail by 16.
That could be huge because defensively you're going to need to, even if you score here, you're going to need to, at some point, stop the clock when you're on defense.
You're going to need a score, onside, score, onside, score. So
a lot needs to go right, but West Muskingum still needs to buckle down and finish this football game strong. It's turned a little sloppy here in the first half of the fourth quarter. I thought they really looked outstanding. We mentioned the last half of the second quarter, the first half of the third quarter. And then maybe they got a little comfortable with that 34-12 lead and allowed the Nubians to creep back into within 2 scores. If they put 6 on the board here, it's going to be a new football game.
Under 7 to play, quarter number 4. So first down and 10. Smith, with pressure in his face, rolls left, and he's going to run himself. He'll get out of bounds. Gain of 8. Your game time temperature of 44 degrees right now.
Is that it?
Yeah.
I mean, jeez. I should have worn my shorts.
Pool party after this, partner? 6:43 to play. Second down and 5. So here is Smith. Flag down, throws towards the back of the end zone for Gray, and it's intercepted by Anton. Oh, they're saying incomplete. He must have lost it on the ground.
Anton came down hard on his backside. Oh, He's up and good, thankfully. Whew.
There you saw the pat on the head as well from Gray.
It's going to be a false start penalty again against Africentric. Again, the flag a little bit suspiciously late for a false start call, but we'll take it. It's going to back them up. I guarantee you Anton's going to feel that one in the morning. He went up high to try to intercept that ball and was kind of in no man's land, suspended in the air, and came directly down on his back.
Second and 10, 6:36. Smith is going to take off himself, and that's, it's going to let that clock tick. I'm sure Coach Brownrigg's fine with him running the ball in that scenario.
Yep.
It's almost pretty hard to come back here.
Yep. He needs to keep the clock moving. You mentioned Nubians have burned all 3 of their second half timeouts, so they can't stop the clock unless they throw an incomplete pass or go out of bounds.
There's a 3rd down and 5.
34-18 the score. Under 6 to play in the 4th quarter. And this will be a give to Waterker. I think he's short.
Coleman Lloyd nearly made the play in the backfield. It was just out of his reach. He over pursued just a hair.
Gray was not on the field for that last play, but he comes back in now. Fourth down and 3, 5 minutes to play. Play action, pressure in the face, rolls out left, being chased by Carter Smith. He dives for the feet but couldn't get it.
And I'm just, West Muskingum fans wanted to hold on the play, and I got to say, I agree with them. I think the Nubians got away with one. We're going to get another look right here. Carter Smith's going to come. Nearly got held there.
It was Talil Spikes that couldn't grab him.
When the offensive lineman throws their arms up and kind of, not me, that's kind of that's usually an indication of guilt.
19 yards to go for a touchdown. As there is Smith rolling, he's going to just keep running the clock himself, which I'm sure is not good in terms of you need quick points here.
You do, but you got to keep in mind they're only down 16, which is technically 2 possessions. So
right, they get 2 2-point conversions.
Yeah, they have to. It takes an awful lot has to go right, as you mentioned, but definitely not out of the realm of possibility. Stranger things have certainly happened.
So second down and 3. I think they've been double coverage on Gray so far on this drive. Takes the snap and gives to the tailback. And he's going to be short of the 10, which is the yard to gain. So going to bring up 3rd down, and that clock's under 4 now.
And Nubians using a lot of the clock here on this drive. If it doesn't result in points, it's going to be a backbreaker.
That was Hairston on the carry. Haven't said his name much here in the second half. 3 wide receivers for the Nubians. Play action, looks left for Gray, well over his head. Over there was Coleman Lloyd trying to close in on the talented.
Coleman Lloyd and Cooper McKenzie both in the vicinity. Neither one of them able to make a play on the ball, but still going to bring up a 4th and 3.
Those are the 2 tornadoes with interceptions in this game.
Yeah, Coleman Lloyd's played a good game, and I'm not positive, but I'm pretty sure that's typically where Taven Bennett plays. And I think Coleman Lloyd is playing Bennett's position, and he's done an admirable job, to say the least.
4th down and 3. Play action. Steps up in the pocket. He's got the first down, and he's tackled at the, I want to say the 1, maybe 2.
Yeah,
and there's the Nubian down.
It's going to be first and goal, no matter how you chop it up here.
And he got
able to get up on his own, right?
Fell down. That was Dontel Taylor Jr. Had his knee tangled up there on the run. Yeah, you mentioned losing Bennett. He's been out there for special teams only, so it's an ankle that's been taped up. He's tried running. I don't think he can move that well, but at least in terms of your special team coverage, he's been out there a couple times. I don't think it's anything long-term to worry about there, but we still have not seen Evan Lewis return to the game. That was the lineman that got hurt earlier for West Ham as well. Quarterback keeper hit hard in the backfield, and Smith goes down.
Pushed straight backwards by the front four of West Muskingum, winning that battle. And at the point of attack, we're the West Muskingum defense. They don't want to give up anything right now. We're under 3 minutes to play now.
So they're going all in, thinking that just using that time to score here, get the 2, try an onside, and hope for the best. This is a give to the tailback Waterberger, and very questionable play calls here down the stretch. Running the clock. And, you know, that's...
So it was, and that's Caden Fleming again on the stop. He's made several TFLs, tackles for loss, here in this second half alone.
I'm surprised they haven't tried a goal line fade with Gray or anything like that yet. I mean, just at the very least, it's an incompletion that stops the clock. You're just winding about 30 seconds off every single time you hand it off. So
yeah, no sense of urgency at all.
3rd down and goal from the 6. Smith looks in the direction of Gray, and there's his 3rd.
But we have a penalty flag and from the line judge, which has been false start the past few times, but this is going to be pass interference. I don't know which way. You can see the discussion between the officials. Is it going to be offense or defense? Touchdown's good. We're going to say chop block.
Chop block on the defense.
Initially, they were given the signal for pass interference. They called chop block. So touchdown's going to be good, and right here, this is the play, Dylan. They need this too if they want any chance to even tie this game at 34. They're down 10.
I'd go right back to Gray. Yep. I mean, he's impressed. Over 120 yards receiving, 3 touchdowns in the game.
Yep. He's a big body with great hands. Really tough to match up man-to-man, but I'm sure the Tornadoes will commit a couple of defenders to his area, if not more.
Maybe you try an outside look. They've gone inside every time.
They're looking his way, but the pass rush is on him.
Pressure in the backfield, and there is Brownrigg, but a flag.
That's going to draw a defensive PI, and
he was grabbing him around the waist.
That's going to give the Nubians a crack at it from the 1.5. But I just don't think the Nubians are confident enough to run the ball for 1.5 yards. I think they're just going to throw it every time now.
I think they go quarterback keeper. Could be an option run.
But yeah, if the Tornadoes can stop this 2-point conversion right here, that should all but seal this game. And then as long as they're able to recover an onside kick, the Nubians have no timeouts to stop the clock.
1:47 to play. 2-point try. And they're going to run it in for a score. It's Watermer.
Yep. That definitely makes things interesting here, Dylan. So the Tornadoes have had multiple chances, 4th downs, 2-point conversions to essentially put an end to this game, and they've been unable to do so. But if you can recover this onside kick, that should put this game to bed because, as I mentioned, the Nubians have no timeouts remaining. They cannot stop the clock. So it would just be 3 Jake Anton knees, and they'd be out of here as long as they can field this onside kick. I'm sure Coach Brownrigg will have his best hands guys way up front this time. We're used to seeing Connor Hill, Carter Smith, Braxton Brownrigg, the 3 deepest men. It wouldn't surprise me if you saw them on the front line here. Or maybe at least on the second line where they're able to run up there and make a play on the football if need be. I see Bennett out there. You mentioned he's been playing some special team snaps. He's out there. Carter Winland's going to be up front.
You can use the hands of Bennett here. He's a great receiver. He's a big body. Like I said, not much mobility from him so far with his ankle, but we've seen it a few times as the chop block's enforced on the kickoff here.
Wow. I mean, this just keeps getting more and more interesting.
If they recover, they will be well into enemy territory.
They sure will.
With 147, it's almost like they've had a couple timeouts the way they've moved the ball. So,
yeah, West Muskingum's had several different opportunities to kind of put this game to rest and unable to do it. But all it takes is an onside kick recovery right here.
So here is Spikes. Don't have a place kicker. He's been the only kickoff specialist so far in this one, and they're going to try it. So they kick it to the left, and falling on it is a tornado.
Look like Houston.
Wes Houston, and he will put this one to bed.
Very good execution right there by the Tornadoes. Nothing fancy, just fall on the football and secure it. Now 3 Jake Anton knees should be upcoming. You don't want to risk a fumble. No timeouts remaining for Africentric, so 2 or 3 kneel downs, and West Muskingum's going to move on to week 12 for the 3rd consecutive year, Dylan.
Wow. It's impressive.
It is.
You know, getting it done in crunch time when you need to. I'm sure they're going to try to clean up the penalties that they had today.
I just think everyone's expectations prior to the season were so much lower just due to the loss of Rashid Cisse, and this West Muskingum team has looked those naysayers in the face and said, look at us now, you know?
Yeah. So Anton in the shotgun, I think he'll need from that spot. And he's just going to run it left. He pushes his way forward to the 35. You know, you mentioned risk of fumble.
Yep.
That could be bad there. But you know, Coach Doug Clifford joins us on the broadcast several times as well. He mentioned quarterback these days, they don't take many snaps under center. But we've seen Anton in a couple formations tonight do that. So.
We have seen him, and they do have packages under center, but he's right. He said even a lot of the younger coaches, you know, the coaches coming up, they don't even know how to coach.
Yeah.
They don't even know the logistics behind an under center snap, which is terrifying. I mean, it's something you need to have in your playbook if you need to run it when necessary.
So Anton will put knee to turf. Under a minute. There's 40 seconds left now. That should do it. Let this go beyond 40, and one more knee will send the Tornadoes to week 12.
And another long drive southbound. But I'm sure they're fine with that. Have another week of practice, another game.
And that will do it. So Anton kneels it out, and Tornadoes, they're victorious here, 34-26, the final score from Whirlwind Stadium. You know, it was a close game. 13-12, we mentioned, was a score to highlight in this one. At the end of they're close to the end of halftime, but then the Tornadoes struck for a touchdown, put 7 on the board, came out, used the second half adjustment, you know, and they came out and scored again. So they were able to really control the pace of play so far in this one as well. So
they kind of took their foot off the gas in the fourth quarter. That's something you're going to have to clean up for next week, because it's going to be a long road trip against probably a much stiffer opponent than they faced tonight. I know the Nubians have a lot of talented individual players, but I just don't think they executed well as a team, not well enough to come in here and beat such a hard-nosed, disciplined football team like West Muskingum.
So that'll do it here from Whirlwind Stadium. 34-26 your final. West End moving on to week 12. We're going to step aside, but don't worry, we'll be back with the City Tire Pros Player of the Game as we wrap things up with a post-game show. You're watching OHSAA playoff football here on South 60 Films.
Ready to go get some heat.
All right, welcome into the postgame show. West Muskingum moving on to the next round. You know, this was an interesting game. It brought a ton of facets, you know. There were a couple of mistakes on both sides of the ball for both teams. There were a ton of penalties in this one, but West End, they opened the scoring here. This is Carter Winland making a play. So he ran it in for a touchdown. We saw Silas Kuhn. You know, it worked a couple times. Once in the first half, once in the second half. He gave West End some great field position.
He sure did. Every time he attempted that kick, they had an opportunity to recover it each and every time. They were able to do so twice out of 4 attempts.
This was a big play for the Africentric defense. It was Turner getting in the backfield, and there to pick it off was Richard Hudson, and he took it pretty far down the sideline there. So then it eventually turned into an interception on the other side of the ball that we see right here.
Yeah, right here we're going to see Smith try to force this ball into double coverage, and Coleman Lloyd jumps right in front of the receiver and grabs that football. And that was the very first snap after they had just intercepted Anton. So huge swing right there.
This is Smith connecting for a second touchdown of the night, going in the direction of Duron Gray. He really had a great second half.
He did found the end zone 3 times in this game.
And they pushed it in for a score with the tailback there. We saw a couple times here tonight. So that was the last score of the game for Africentric. But, you know, a great game here tonight. We were treated to a classic, I would say. You know, the first half, it was a close game for a little bit, and then West End really jumped on them before halftime and out of halftime. And those are two big areas to win the game.
Yeah, that was where the game was won. In the final 2 minutes of the second quarter and the first 6 minutes of the third quarter, West Muskingum created such a gap that the Nubians were not able to recover.
So we want to give you our City Tire Pros player of the game, and we're giving it to 2 people tonight. We're going to look at the defensive side of the ball for West Muskingum. Cooper McKenzie, he had an interception. He had a couple big tackles. He was in the backfield all night long on the defensive side. Shout out to Cooper McKenzie. He wins the City Tire Pros player of the game. And another one, we're going to give it to a kicker, Silas Kuhn. We talk about what he was able to do tonight, giving West End 2 extra possessions, which, I mean, that's vital. He had an 8-point win. He scored on 2 of those, so you put him in good field position. He was a big factor in this one as well.
Yeah, Kuhn attempted 4 onside kicks. They were able to recover 2 of them. The thing I liked about them, all 4 had a little bit of different look to them. They weren't in the same exact place. They weren't in the same depth of the field. So they definitely have multiple type of kickoffs in their back pocket to use, and they were able to create 2 extra possessions for themselves tonight. And let's not take for granted, Silas Kuhn just never misses PATs.
Yeah.
I mean, he's such money in the bank.
Those points were crucial as well. You know, he put up 34 points in this game. A lot of those, he added 4 extra PATs. Do that math, and you know, it was a 8-point game. So lots of look that it could have changed if he didn't put those in the bank. But now I want to talk a little bit about what West End can do going forward. They go to Fairland. Long drive there as they play a team that just beat Zane Trace here tonight as well. How do you prepare for not only that drive, but, you know, to be ready after getting off the bus?
And that's a tough one. They did it just 2 years ago, as I mentioned earlier. They were able to make the same drive and beat the same Fairland team. I know the players are different, but a lot of those players were starters on that team, including Jake Anton and Carter Winland. They were out there the whole game that night, so they know what it takes to make a long trip and beat a good team on their field in the second round of the playoffs. And I think this West Muskingum team is in such a good place mentally that they'll be so prepared for next week.
Well, next week we'll pose another big test for them as they move forward week 12 for West Muskingum, as well as New Lexington. They went on and win. They had a win again tonight. They beat a team over in New Lex. They put up over 50 points in that win. So we'll be covering New Lex next weekend as they move on with them. West End, we're going to try to get that game as well down in Fairland. So we will keep you updated with everything that takes place here on South 60 Films. But the final score tonight, West Muskingum moves on to the next round of the playoffs, a 34-26 win over Africentric. You've been watching OHSAA football here on South 60 Films.